live! Hi, my name is Sophia Botha. Welcome to the latest edition of Botha Rants, where we go through all the latest political and LGBTQ news of interest, or at least interest to me. Now, a couple some parish notices before we go on. So last night I did a reaction to the budget, and one of the reasons I did it is because supposedly economics is my forte. I've had a lot of people around, who basically have worked in academia, saying, "Oh, you should go back to university and study, more and blah de blah de blah de blah." And I've always said to them, "Why?" Because most people I know aren't interested in fucking economics. And I proved this last night because I had the weakest amount of reaction to any video any of my streams so far when I concentrated purely on fucking economics. Now, yeah, sure, economics interests me, but it doesn't interest 95% of people. I do think that there are, shall we say, certain people who have been trying to whisper in my ear because they don't think they know what's good for, they don't think I know what's good for me because I'm disabled. In other words, they're ableist bigots, really, who disguise themselves as people who care. Sorry, I have to get that off my chest. I prefer talking about LGBTQ and political news, at a gallop, shall we say. That is my style, all punk rock and everything. I mean, I was about to say, even if I dress up, economics in a punk rock style, people still find it fucking boring, okay? So, I don't think we'll be doing that again. Anyways, on with the show. Oh shit, I forgot about something. Oh yeah, there's a voice out there.
Wait.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah, it's the Lizard Queen.
I'm slowly coming in. I'm slowly coming into the microphone area. I don't know why I said that. I need more sleep.
It's the Lizard Queen.
I am not that important.
Yes, it's Ozma. How you doing, my darling?
I'm doing all right. I mean, I need a bit more sleep, and obviously it helps to work on things. I'm not seeing anything in Zoom, obviously. You haven't quite shared the screen to me yet, so...
Oh, shit! Oh, dear, yeah, well, I don't think I've had enough caffeine either. Hold on. I haven't shared the screen in...
Yeah, no, I mean, this is not anything the audience can see. I just... it's helpful for not having a delay.
Yeah, sorry. Okay. Well, there's Ozma in her marvelous meat suit provided by George Soros. Praise be upon him. She got a new one last November with large titties.
Yeah, I mean, you can't blame me.
Yeah.
Maybe that's not. Maybe that's why I don't get checks anymore. Maybe it's just all been subsidized in this most recent meat suit. That's the reason that I'm poor, not.
Yeah. The only problem, your most recent meat suit looks a bit too like Marilyn Manson without makeup.
Hey, that's only my hairstyle, okay, and that is totally easily adjustable.
Anyways, if you want to give Ozma a follow, she's absolutely lovely. Please do so on Twitter. You can also check out her website, osmainthedark.com. Oh no, it's not, is it? It's actually no. Is it? You do actually have Ozma.
So what the thing is, I have to pay for a subscription to WordPress. So I paid for the rights to osmainthedark.com, but because it was through WordPress, like I have to have a WordPress subscription or something to have it stay OzmaInTheDark.com instead of immediately redirect to OzmaInTheDark.wordpress.com.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, this is her website. I because I wasn't sure if she was going to be on the show today. I haven't dropped her links down below, but I will do that after the show. So anybody who sees this afterwards can go and check out her Twitter feed and her website. She has a couple of YouTube channels, Fluid Voice and Ozma in the Dark, of course.
Fluid Voice is the one that I focused on the most. So that is the one I obviously subscriptions are most important to me.
Yeah. Anyways, there's two shows on Fluid Voice. Fluid Voice, which is on Sunday, a live Sunday stream on Twitch, and you do stream to YouTube at the same time, don't you?
No. So it's only on YouTube now because I realized that I didn't want to break Twitch legal agreements. So everything on the Fluid Voice is just purely from that channel.
Okay, right.
There's stuff I did do on Twitch, but I'm taking a bit of a Twitch break because I'm trying to sort out
Okay. Right, okay. And also Rainbow Shelter News. Up above the trees and houses, rainbow flying high. People in Britain of a certain age will know that reference. But anyways, Rainbow Shelter News is on a Wednesday, which is a shorter show, which basically they discuss one or two news stories. Really, you should make that show longer if you ask me, but that's just my opinion.
Nah, see, here's the important thing about diversity. It's helpful to have a lot of different things.
Okay, right, well yeah, okay, well, check out Rainbow Shelter News as well, and Fluid Voice, both on the Fluid Voice channel. All right, okay, I hope that hasn't put anyone off, because we've got a packed show. And I only think it's fair that I plug my guests as much as I can. We have reached a new kind of fucking craziness. I am not joking here. So, let me just put this into perspective. So, Washington, D.C. is on full lockdown because some QAnon troll said on some fucking message board somewhere that Donald Trump was going to return to power on March the 4th. There was going to be some sort of coup. Today is March the 4th, and fuck all is happening, but DC's on lockdown in case it does happen. I mean, look, this is a new kind of fucking craziness, you know? Really it is. This is where all the bullshit, online conspiratorial bullshit leads. Okay? This is really fucking stupid.
Well, yeah. I mean, they need to lock down the place because there's some actual not protest stuff, some fucking insurrectionist shit. I mean, I know there was I don't remember if it was 60 or so arrests or whatnot from the insurrection attempt before, but
but what I'm saying is there's been this date floated around saying that Trump would usurp power today, March the 4th. Fuck all, we know fuck all's going to happen. Okay, the Proud Boys, maybe the Proud Boys or the 3%ers might, a few of them might turn up the protest. Whoopie fucking do, right? But the point is that the fact that you have a whole fucking cult out there seeming to think that this is going to be the day that Donald Trump is returned to power because somebody said it on some fucking message board. They pulled a fucking date out arbitrarily out of their fucking arse. Yeah? In fact, they probably got the date wrong. It should be April the 1st. Ha ha. This is a new kind of crazy. It really fucking is. And you know, the fact that they have to lock down DC on because some idiot said something on a message board. It's like, hey, America, you've got a real fucking issue with this fucking MAGA and QAnon cult. You need to deal with it.
Yeah.
You know, you need to get some fucking, your cult deprogrammers, working over fucking time and deprogramming morons. Sorry.
Well, get some cult breakers as well.
Well, that's what I meant, deprogrammers.
Oh, yeah, I mean, yeah.
Anyways, so back here in this side of the pond, Prince Philip has had a successful heart procedure. Actually, I saw before I came on air, he's had a second heart procedure. Essentially, because he was born with a silver spoon shoved up his ass, and he married another person with a silver spoon shoved up their ass, he's managed to jump the NHS waiting list. Right, essentially, and I think Prince Philip's does it actually say how old he is in this article?
99.
Yeah, he's 99. Right. Point is, right, I know that there would be NHS doctors if he wasn't born with a silver spoon up his arse, anyone of that age, they would probably start debating whether it was worthwhile to go ahead with the procedure, considering their age.
Yeah.
Yeah? You see what I'm saying? It's one rule for the royals, another rule for the rest of us, right? And I'm just
that's how those people work.
Yeah. Anyways, in other royal news, I mean, it's fucking handbags and meow at fucking Buckingham Palace. So essentially, Buckingham Palace has accused Meghan Markle of bullying staff, royal household staff and stuff. I have to say, I think that's just bullshit spin, and the real reason is that Harry, Prince Harry, obviously son of Charles and Di, which makes him fourth in line. No, hold on, Charles is first in line. William is second. Yeah, he's third in line. Right, third in line.
I am glad I never had to deal with royalty.
Yeah, third in line to the throne, and basically what it is that he is sacrificed being a royal for loving Meghan, right? And basically they don't like her because, well, simply because the English establishment still is racist as fuck. I mean, she's black. I'm just going to say it. That's why. She's black and she's American, right? And I don't like that, right? And I don't like that he's taken her, that he should think of duty, before anything else. Duty to the country, British stiff upper lip and all that. Fuck off.
Oh my God. And really, we had tons and tons of stories about love being more important than this bullshit. There's plenty of movies about it too, and it's just like, well, except for royalty, because their job is super important. I know they don't have a job.
Their job is super fucking important, bouncing around in gold carriages and waving to the crowds. Yeah, sure. I guess you could get repetitive strain injury from waving to crowds, but enough. But the point is that, I mean, Harry, he when he was growing up, he was a bit of a dick. There's that infamous thing, where he turned up to a party in a SS uniform, or was it a brown shirt uniform? I can't remember.
Oh God!
But yeah, he did. He had a swastika and everything.
That's
That's
not good.
And then there was those photographs with him in some pool in Las Vegas with some dodgy Russian mafia types. I mean, sure, but more recently he's proven himself to be a lot more human than the rest of the fucking royal family, if you ask me. And I mean, look, I would be critical of Harry and Meghan in that I think that, even if they're pulling out of the sort of royal limelight, they will be trading on the fact that they're either royals or former royals for the rest of their fucking life. Okay? And that will certainly, bring in a few million for them,
Yeah.
in after dinner speeches or appearances or whatever the fuck else, right? So, or whatever media they decide to fucking do. So
Yeah.
I am cynical to this, but I just think that the bottom line here is the British fucking establishment don't fucking like Meghan because of the colour of her fucking skin, and this is coming to show with the spin, which is against, which has been, basically spun against her by Buckingham Palace itself.
Yeah.
Anyways, talking about the royal family, what with Buckingham Palace putting out such a strongly worded statement about taking Meghan's alleged bullying so seriously, can we assume Prince Andrew is now booked on the first flight to the USA to clear things up with the FBI regarding his alleged sexual misconduct? Right, I don't know how much you know about this.
I do not.
Right, okay. If I told you that Prince Andrew was quite good friends with Jeffrey Epstein.
Well, okay, that explains everything.
Well, yeah, and he gave this cringe-worthy fucking interview, right, where he's basically, because there have been people who come forward saying that he basically was involved in raping them, and he said it couldn't be me because I don't. They said they described someone sweaty. Well, I don't sweat due to some medical condition, and we're all going, oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also he said that one of the dates he was alleged to have assaulted somebody. He said he was at a Pizza Express in Woking, and it was like, yeah,
No.
yeah, Andrew, I'm sure you're a frequent customer at Pizza Express, mate. Yeah, right. Uh-huh.
Well, I mean, I suppose it beats the likely first excuse that came through his head, which is, oh, sorry, I was busy raping someone else that day. It couldn't have been me.
I mean, the FBI actually do want to question him, rightfully so, if you ask me.
Yeah.
But the British government are blocking it, and nobody should be above the fucking law, not even royalty. Yeah. In fact, definitely not royalty.
Especially not former presidents. But
just because you're born with a silver spoon shoved up your ass and you've got you're given fucking titles doesn't mean that you're above the fucking law. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, it's slightly different, but Nicolas Sarkozy, the former French president, is finding that out. He's off to jail.
Yeah, but I mean, the French have had like so many revolutions that the government's always just like a bit wary of the French people. So
yeah, but yeah, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, well, you know me, I'm a Republican in the real sense of the word. I believe in the abolishment of the monarchy. Because this has always caused trouble. Because I mentioned him on last night's stream, Terry the Tory troll, who used to cyberstalk me, and he goes, "Well, you're an immigrant to this country. How dare you? Be abusive to the royal family." Sorry, I thought this country believed in free speech. Yeah. So, here's me exercising free speech. Fuck off, Queen Lizzie and the Windsors. There you are. Right. Oh, yes. Ha ha, Elon Musk. Watch this.
Oh, I can already see a problem. Yep.
Oops. Can I take this opportunity to apologise on behalf of all South Africans for Elon Musk?
I mean, there's a lot that South Africa needs to apologize for. And yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, South Africa needs to apologize for Elon Musk's parents
It's all
as well.
unraveling. It's all unraveling for fucking Elon Musk at the moment, isn't it? He's still the wealthiest man in the world.
Yep,
Work that one out. Yeah. Oh yeah.
it's fine. He's good at scamming the rich.
So Piers Morgan can't grasp why Russell T Davies would want queer men to play queer roles in a drama about the AIDS crisis. Right. This is to do with Russell T Davies he wrote this series called It's a Sin, which is about the gay community during the 1980s, and of course that's when the AIDS pandemic hit the LGBTQ community. And Russell T Davies has gone on record saying that only queer actors should play queer roles, right? Which is absolutely right. And Piers Morgan can't grasp this. Well, Piers, put it another way. Do you think it's okay for white actors to black up to play black roles? No, I don't think you would, right? That would be racist, right? Rightfully so. As I say, the only time I ever defended that was Robert Downey Jr. in Tropic Thunder because he was taking the piss out of method acting, and rightfully so. But the thing is, Piers, mate, I'm wondering, why you can't grasp this. It's pretty fucking straightforward. Yeah?
Well, I mean, so they think that acting is a game which the straight white people play. So, if it's not really acting if a queer man playing a queer role is the reasoning, I assume, but it's really pathetic and awful, and not looking at the further grasp of society.
Alright. I just think it's fucking stupid. I mean, it seems to me that sometimes Piers Morgan will just say any stupid fucking thing, right, for attention.
Yeah.
Yeah. And usually in the firing line are trans people and vegans for some reason. He really does have a problem with trans people and vegans.
Huh.
Okay, I will admit I've got a bit of a problem with some vegans. I do think some vegans are too militant for their own good. But as for trans people, no. You know, the difference between militant vegans and trans people is this: militant vegans want to convert everyone to being a vegan, right?
And it's a small percentage of vegans.
And yeah, this is true. I mean, most of the vegans I know say it's a matter of personal consciousness.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not going to try and persuade me otherwise. But I'm talking about people like Joey Carbstrong and Earthling Ed and the other annoying vegan YouTubers who are always trying to shove it down your fucking throat. But the difference between them and say me as a trans activist is I'm not trying to convert everyone to being fucking trans, right? What I am trying to say is trans people want to get through life without being harassed for being trans. You get my drift? That's a little different. Anyways, talking of Piers Morgan, his old nemesis. Have you seen the CNN interview?
I have not.
Oh shit! I'm gonna have to show it to you. Okay, hold on a second. Let me go and find it.
I'm sorry.
It's kind of like, what fucking rock have you been living under?
Well, okay, so like,
You spend too much time playing World of Warcraft or not paying fucking attention to the world.
that's not true. I play World of Warcraft mostly just on the weekends. A lot of this
Yeah,
is
but
just
you have a 7 day weekend.
no, sorry. I mean, Saturdays and Sundays
Right.
is most of when I
So,
play
so
them.
to explain for Ozma's benefit, I'll explain. Piers Morgan, when he was working for CNN, the brief time he was working for CNN when he took over from Larry King, interviewed Alex Jones. And well, it's one of the most cringeworthy pieces of television I think I've ever fucking seen. I don't know if this is the full version. If I think it is about 8 minutes long. This is 7 minutes long. This is just. Oh, hold on. Is there a? Yeah, this. I don't know if that one is just the pure. Hold on. Just hang on there a minute. I want to give you the full fucking experience.
Okay.
Just need to check if that's the full.
More than 104,000 people have signed it so far.
And the Russian government, the official Chinese government.
And on guns in America. It's not escape the notice.
Okay, now, I'm going to admit, one of the problems I have with this interview is that Alex Jones actually made me have sympathy for Piers Morgan. And that's why I hate him even more.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So I think, when was... Yeah, this was 2013. And I bet Alex Jones was so happy because I remember I found out about this because I woke up one morning and I saw Alex Jones was trending on Twitter near the top. And it was like, why is he trending? You know, I knew who he was. And he was still sort of marginal figure at that time. You know? And it's because of this interview. So Piers Morgan took a stance again in favour of gun control. And, well, of course, Alex Jones didn't particularly like that because Alex Jones can't get it up without stroking an assault rifle.
This is a known
of gun
fact.
rights, and
Yes.
it's led to a petition on the White House official website, no less. It's entitled, and I quote, "Deport British citizen Piers Morgan for attacking Second Amendment." Take a look. More than 104,000 people have signed it so far. And joining me now is one of the people behind the petition, Alex Jones. He's host of the Alex Jones Show. Welcome to you.
Piers, thanks for having me.
Why do you want to deport me?
Well, we did it as a way to bring attention to the fact that we have all of these foreigners and the Russian government, the official Chinese government, Mao said political power.
Funny enough, this is kind of prophetic because he mentions the Russian government, yet Alex Jones always denied that there was Russian collusion in getting Trump elected.
Well, yeah, because he's spouting whatever
Yeah.
manages to find his way into his ears out of his ass.
Yeah, just pointing that out in hindsight.
Goes out of the barrel of a gun. He killed about 80 million people because he's the only guy that had the guns. So we did it to point out that this is globalism and the mega banks that control the planet and brag that they've taken over in Bloomberg, AP, Reuters, you name it, brag that they're going to get our guns as well. They've taken everybody's guns but the Swiss and the American people. And when they get our guns...
Right, let me just explain something about the Swiss laws because I actually know... In fact, we're going to mention them later on. I know someone who lives in Switzerland.
Oh.
The gun laws in Switzerland, yes, you can buy like an Uzi automatic in Switzerland, right, with an international driving license. I'm not kidding, right? Okay, but
Okay, so I need an international driver's license. Is what I'm hearing.
Right,
Just kidding.
but there are very strict rules about how you store it. You have to store the ammo and the guns in separate places behind and they have to be locked away. Okay?
Yeah.
Similar to Canada. Yes, Canada has just as high gun ownership as the United States. But the reason you have a fraction of the gun crime in Canada as you do in the United States for two reasons. One, Canada has a welfare state. And two, there are strict rules on how you store guns.
Yeah, and apparently Alex Jones isn't recognizing Canada's gun ownership.
guns, they can have their world tyranny, while the government buys 1.6 billion bullets, armored vehicles, tanks, helicopters, Predator drones, armed, now in U.S. skies, being used to arrest people in North Dakota. The Second Amendment isn't there for duck hunting. It's there to protect us from tyrannical government and street thugs. Take the women in India. Your piece earlier on CNN I was watching during Anderson Cooper's show didn't tell you that the women of India have signed giant petitions to get firearms because the police can't and won't protect them. The answer is, hey, wait a minute, I have FBI crime statistics that come out a year late, 2011. 20+% crime drop in the last 9 years. Real violent crime, because more guns means less crime. Britain took the guns 15, 16 years ago, tripling of your overall violent crime. True, we have a higher gun violence level, but overall muggings, stabbings, deaths, those men raped that woman in India to death with an iron rod.
He's wrong, actually, by the way.
Well,
The only statistic, actually, there's one statistic which is true. Hot burglaries are higher in the UK, right? That means like someone who sees like an open window and just burgles by chance, right? That's higher in this country, right? But generally, no, crime is generally far lower. I mean, Britain is considered one of the safest countries in the world to live in.
Well, yeah, but I mean, also, you have a bit of the racist undertones. I mean, obviously.
Yeah, we do have racism here, you know.
Anti-Semitic stuff and like being like, oh, we need to protect people from the thugs. Thugs is.
We protect people from the globalists. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the thugs is code word for black people.
And globalists.
Guns to protect.
And the globalists, of course, are code for, well, us. Yeah, because we're a real threat, you know, to Alex Jones, aren't we? Yeah.
Yeah, with most trans people being below the poverty line.
I wasn't talking about us being trans, my darling.
Yeah, I know you weren't talking about us being trans, but like, whatever. What counts for who's controlling everything is either Jewish or LGBT.
4 feet long. You can't ban the iron rods. The guns, the iron rods, Pierce, didn't do it. The tyrants did it. Hitler took the guns. Stalin took the guns. Mao took the guns. Fidel Castro took the guns. Hugo Chavez took the guns. And I'm here to tell you, 1776 will commence again if you try to take our firearms. Doesn't matter how many lemmings you get out there on the street begging for them to have their guns taken. We will not relinquish them. Do you understand? That's why you're going to fail, and the establishment knows no matter how much propaganda, the Republic will rise again when you attempt to take our guns. My family in the Texas Revolution against Santa Anna, my family was at the core on both sides starting that because Santa Anna came to take the guns at Gonzales, Texas. Pierce, don't try what your ancestors did before. Why don't you come to America? I'll take you out shooting. You can become an American and join the Republic.
You finished?
Yes, I am finished. You will not take my right.
Guess what? He isn't finished. It gets worse.
Oh, God. But also, you know, if going to a shooting range is all that it takes to become American, why is there so much anti-immigrant stuff?
Yeah. Why is it that when black people get guns, suddenly, you know, right wingers suddenly become in favor of gun control? Yeah.
You go through background checks to get guns. How about Prozac? You know the number one. Oh, that's the big sponsor, isn't it? Or that whole class of drugs.
Let me ask you a question.
Oh, got to cut that off, don't you? Don't want to talk about the U.S. number one cause of death is suicide now because they give people suicide mass murder pills.
Calm down.
Your answer is give more money to the psychiatrists and psychologists to put more crazy people on drugs that make them kill people, Pierce.
Let's try and have a debate here.
Yeah.
Answer me this question.
I'm sick of the same old script here, bud.
It's fine. How many gun murders were there in America last year? Do you know?
There were about 11,458, and about 74% of those were gang-related, gangbangers shooting each other. You get 3.5.
All right, yeah. So basically, what he's implying there is that essentially, it's just black people killing each other.
Yeah.
That's what he's basically, you know, saying. Yeah. That That was a racist slight which people didn't pick up on at the time, I remember.
Yeah, there was a lot of racism in what Alex Jones said.
To 4,000.
That wasn't the
How
question.
many people died from infections in hospitals?
If I may just-
197,000.
Let me just ask you a second.
That's
question.
right.
How many gun murders were there in Britain?
How
last
many
year?
great white sharks
No, how many
kill people every year, but they're scared to swim?
Right. How many gun murders were there in Britain?
A very low amount. I already went over those
How many?
statistics.
Do you know?
It was only a few hundred.
No. How many gun murders?
I actually did pull up the statistics. Here, let me pull them out right here. I figured you'd do that.
Gun murders
Oh,
in
wait.
Britain last
UK
year.
violent crime, capital of Europe. London Telegraph. Here, let me
It's
give you
quite
more.
a simple question.
Well, that's the oldest.
You're a very loud man.
No, that's the
You
oldest
make a
Perry
lot of
Mason
noise.
tactic to ask me some little factoid.
So
Oh,
is there
wow.
a little
Ask you a little factoid. Oh, yeah. How dare facts get in the way of your rant?
Yeah. Well, I know about facts.
Yeah.
Sorry, I still like the epic rap battle from 2012 when Romney was going against Obama. I was just like fat stacks and super PACs, and I was just like, I will not have this thing be dictated by facts. That was how it started. It's just like,
Yeah. I mean, how dare facts get in the way of Alex Jones having a rant?
fact.
I already said earlier,
talking about
England has a lot lower gun crime rate because you took all the guns.
Let me try exactly
But
my
you've
point.
got hordes of people burning down cities and beating old women's brains out every day.
What a
Let me just look out the window a minute. Nope. There's nothing but the crickets.
yeah. Well, I mean, there's a lot of cricket in the UK. That makes sense.
You know what I'm saying.
I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they say the same thing about the Black Lives Matters protests. They're just like, oh, they're burning every place down. And it's like, no. I didn't, like...
Yeah, it's like that when Michael Moore, when he did, was it bowling? I think it was bowling for Columbine. He went to South Central LA, right? Because it's meant to be like the crime capital of the world, right?
Yeah.
You know, and he basically went there. It was basically suburbia. Yeah, I know. It was. You know, the amount of bullshit. You see, the thing is, as Michael Moore pointed out correctly, right? That it's essentially people were driven into buying guns because they watch the fucking cable news all the time, telling you there's crime is rife here and riots are happening in there. You know, basically scaring people, you know, into buying guns, and that's what Jones does himself.
Well, I mean, the bigger problem involves how much the police get. It was slightly better when the Black Panther Party had guns to try to protect black people from police.
Yeah, and that was the time when the NRA suddenly became in favor of gun control.
I know. That was when they started pushing gun control for a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
ridiculous
They arrest people in England if they defend themselves. That's on record. My God, you are gonna...
Right, that's a reference to fucking Tony Martin. Right, let me explain the Tony Martin case. So there was this Norfolk farmer, right, and he'd been burgled several times, right? And basically, he started setting booby traps in his house. I mean, the guy's he's a racist nutcase. And essentially what happened was he was burgled. He got his shotgun and he shot the burglar when he was running away. Okay? So in other words, he shot him in the back. That's manslaughter, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, and as far as the law is concerned, so obviously...
No, it's not. Not in the United States. In some states, you've got...
Yeah, I know. I was going to get to that. It was... I mean, some states, have that law...
Stronghold law, isn't it?
That, but there's also a lot of states where it would be manslaughter. because you got someone in the back who is running away from a burglary.
Yeah. Trayvon Martin, that was the case, I remember.
Yeah, no, that was.
And of course, you had all the white pundits on Fox defending Fred Zimmerman for doing that, despite the fact that Trayvon Martin wasn't armed.
Yeah.
Yeah, funny that.
A total police state. Everybody's fleeing that country because you've had to flee here, bud. Why don't you tell folks? Here. Yeah, you fled here. Why don't you go back and face the charges for the hacking scandal?
Answer this question.
Actually, that is a good question. He did get away. Let's just say with the whole hacking scandal, allegedly, I'm saying allegedly a lot here. You know, everyone was accusing news of the world of phone hacking. Let's just say that allegedly it was meant to be going on at the Mirror when Piers Morgan was editor. Allegedly, you know, could be. You know, there were those rumors. It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, you know, if one tabloid newspaper is doing it, then another's doing it. Okay, I'm just going to say that.
How many?
Why'd you get fired from the Daily Mirror for putting out fake stories?
He did, actually. That is true. It's one true thing Alex Jones has said.
I mean, no. That's what Alex Jones does. He mentions like a whole bunch of bullshit, and then he mentions one true thing. And Alex Jones can use that to just be like, to help justify the clear falsehoods that he states.
You're a hatchet man of the New World Order. Okay. You're a hatchet man. And I want to say this right here. You think you're a tough guy? Have me back with a boxing ring in here, and I'll wear red, white, and blue, and you can wear your Jolly Roger. Okay. You know what?
Let's try again. How many gun murders were there?
Oh, you're going to ban your fist now?
In Britain last year.
How many chimpanzees can dance on the head of a pin?
Already. Well, what the fuck does that have to do with anything?
Yeah, he doesn't want to answer it.
Yeah.
He legit doesn't want to answer it at all.
Went over those statistics.
Do you know the answer?
No, I don't.
You said hundreds.
It's very low.
You said hundreds.
Yes.
It's actually 35.
Well, the point is you can...
Against 11,000. Do you understand the difference between 11,000
Yeah, England
and
wants
35?
to ban knives now because tens of thousands are getting stabbed.
Right. But do you understand the difference?
The knife doesn't kill people.
Do you understand?
The gun doesn't kill people.
Yes.
Listen.
Yeah, but the difference is, Alex, right? You can use knives for, I don't know, chopping up vegetables. Yeah, you should eat your vegetables, mate, you know? Not just a big bowl of chili, so you forget that your child's graduation or whatever the fuck it was you told in that divorce hearing. The knives are used actually for you know, things other than, you know, stabbing people. Okay?
Yeah.
Whereas guns are, you know, the guns are only used for one thing: killing people.
Firing. Well, no.
Well, okay, all right, hunting. All right, I'll get us.
Well, yeah.
But then again, that's
some people just use guns for shooting ranges, where they just want to play around with the
yeah, but if they do that, they tend to use air guns. Okay, and you know, you can kill someone with an air gun, but you have to be at very close range to do it. But and I've used an air gun in my time. In fact, I would imagine I am actually the one person in this conversation who's actually fired a real gun.
Okay, that's true. Not that I didn't want to fire a gun ever. I'm American. Give me that.
Yeah. Just mentioning guns, you're starting to get aroused, aren't you?
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Do you understand? You're not going to pull on America's heartstrings. They know your script, okay? You're not going to get our guns. By the way, you guys always say, we just want to take the semi-autos, okay, and all this other stuff. When semi-autos aren't even, rifles aren't even used, but in a fraction of the crimes, you can pull those numbers up, okay? Hold on.
No, let me ask you one question. Which weapon was predominantly used in the Aurora movie theater shooting?
M4 AR-15 variants.
So it was a semi-automatic assault rifle.
Again.
Okay.
But statistically, it's very, very low.
Do you agree it was the single biggest shooting in the history of America in terms of people hit by a shooter? Do you know that?
No, I believe that there were others. There's been some other shootings with about over 30.
No. This was the single biggest mass shooting.
Well, listen, you're just going.
No,
there have been bombings of Wall Street.
Let me ask you a second question.
Are we going to listen? Why can't the pilots have firearms? We trust them to fly the planes.
Alex, you've had a lot to say.
No,
Just
my point is the Second Amendment is sacrosanct, and you're not getting it.
Do you know which weapon was used in the Oregon shopping mall?
The Second Amendment is sacrosanct. Oh, praise the assault rifle, for it protects us all. Yeah. Welcome to the Church of Gun Sexual.
I mean, the way some of those gun owners hold those guns, yeah.
Recently.
I understand that people who are mentally ill on all the serotonin reuptake inhibitors who play these shoot-'em-up games want to go out and do this because there's criminal.
Okay, that is absolute fucking bullshit. I've heard this one ever since Doom, right? Now, I actually am old enough. You're probably not old enough to remember this, but I'm old enough to remember when people thought Doom. If you look at Doom, the original Doom now, you'll laugh.
Oh no, I have I haven't played the original Doom, but I've obviously seen it. I did play Hex, and I did play Marathon Infinity when I was in middle school. And
but I'm talking about the original,
around that level of graphics.
The original Doom, right? I'm not kidding. I mean, people will laugh at this now. We thought it was scary. We thought it was ultra violent, right? And Jones has been one of these people, like Wayne Follett, or whatever his fucking name is, the head of the NRA, because you remember he came out and after Sandy Hook, saying, "Oh, there's all these violent video games, to encourage people to go out and shoot." Now this goes back to the Columbine, okay? Because then I think they played video. They played some. I don't know if it was Doom. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, I can't remember either.
But but exactly. So that's what that was what encouraged them. Well, why is it then we have all the same computer games here, right? Yet we don't have the gun crime, right? Plenty of places in the world, you can get the same computer. I mean, Japan, right? Japan has, some pretty uber violent video games, I can tell you, okay? And also has some pretty uber violent cinema as well, right?
Yeah.
Yet, very little gun crime. Yeah? So, the correlation between video games and gun crime is absolute fucking bullshit.
Yeah, I know my mom.
And I'll tell you one. Do you remember the Penn and Teller Penn and Teller bullshit show?
Yeah.
Now, obviously, Penn and Teller. Well, Penn these days sounds more like he's in favour of Biden, but generally he's been known to be a libertarian. So libertarians generally are in favour of the Second Amendment, right? And yet they did a edition of bullshit, basically, sort of to tear apart the argument that violent video games, encourage kids to want to shoot machine guns, right? And so you have that. Okay, just one little program, but what I'm saying is Jones is full of shit.
Well, yeah. So, my mom had gotten a little bit convinced by these attributes for a bit, and then I, mentioned to my mom, because I didn't tell her that I played Marathon Infinity at the schoolyard, the computer lab in middle school, and I was just like, yeah, I play Marathon Bandy. I have no real desire to go around shooting people.
Well, I also remember all the controversy there was about Mortal Kombat back in the early 90s.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat I do remember more of than.
Yeah, I think there was on the Nintendo version it was censored, because Nintendo has this sort of like family friendly type thing about it, doesn't it? But if you saw and there was a lot of controversy. There really was, right?
Yeah.
And there were congressional hearings, parliamentary hearings, and fucking, documentaries and whatever else. And I remember Charlie Brooker made a documentary series of, documentary, sorry, not a documentary series, one-off documentary, Video Games Changed the World, right? Must have been almost 10 years ago now. And basically he pointed out, he said, so Mortal Kombat caused all this controversy back in the early 90s, and we look back at it and we laugh. He said, but here's the latest edition of Mortal Kombat, and it was like some woman getting basically split in two with like one of those rotary sword things, and he said, and like no one said anything about it. The video games now are far more fucking violent, and no one says anything.
Well, I mean, the other thing is
because people realise there's no correlation between, video games and people being violent. That's why.
Well, yeah, there is a correlation between some video game company directors and putting their artists through PTSD, watching actual violent crimes get more realistic violent situations. There is that correlation, but yeah.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, no, the video game industry is dog shit. It's really bad.
No, but what I'm saying is, we keep hearing this about fucking video games. I mean, GTA, there's the ultimate, right? Yeah. Most people I know who play GTA are as hippie as fuck, right?
Yeah.
They would never assault anyone, right?
Yeah.
And people I know play Call of Duty. Sure. There are a lot of arseholes who play Call of Duty. I'll admit that.
Yeah.
Wannabe fucking soldiers, right? But the point I'm trying to make is, just because you play a violent video game does not make you want to go and do violence, okay? And we've heard this time and time again. I think particularly in the early 90s, video games were still a relatively new phenomenon, right? And we've heard this about television before and cinema before that, right?
Yeah.
Even when it came to things like rock and roll, that I don't know if you know this, but basically Elvis was considered too sexual, it's I think particularly in the United States because it was found on Puritanism. There is that puritanical strain that of thinking that all these decadent influences are corrupting minds.
Well, it's like a particular subset of people, but yeah.
I don't lose my rights.
Less influential.
Because there's criminals, I don't lose my rights.
Just answer the question.
Yeah.
Do you know what the...
I don't lose my rights. You see that? He's just sort of... Yeah, you don't get to, stroke an AR-15 while you're having a wank. Okay? That's what he's You cannot...
That's not a violent crime.
No, but you know what I'm saying. It's all about the right... it's all about white people having the right to defend themselves. This is what it's all about. Yeah.
Well,
and maybe they wouldn't need. Maybe they wouldn't need to have to do that if there was a welfare fucking state in America. I mean, I know there's a very basic one, but if they had a better one, right?
Yeah.
Crime would actually go down as it does in Canada.
Yeah.
The weapon used was?
Listen, let me ask you a question.
No, answer.
I've got the FBI statistics that, the so-called semi-autos that you talk about.
Let's take a break. When we come back...
Again, you're not going to get the guns.
When we come back, try and answer my question.
Yeah, all you're going to do is sit there and play little factoid questions. Overall crime has gone up over 20%. More...
Back now with Alex Jones. A man who says I should be deported for my stand on guns. So, Alex, here's how this is going to work, and it's entirely down to you. I'm going to ask you some questions in the spirit of a proper debate, and you've had a lot to say so far on the show, and a lot of it aimed at me, which is fine. But I want you to try and answer the questions. It's a proper debate, okay? I'm not trying to trip you up.
No, it's not a debate. You're running the show. You bring in your victims up front.
Actually, no.
Look, you got.
Oh, how dare Piers Morgan give a platform to people who are victims of gun crime? Oh, sorry. Does that get in the way of your, uber selfish fucking, wanting to own a gun? Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, right. How dare, Piers Morgan speak up for victims? How dare he?
Little note cards.
Okay.
I just gave you FBI statistics
Fine.
that violent crime
Alex,
and gun crime is down over 20%.
Alex, let me just ask you
and
this.
you want to go to little factoids.
No, they're not little
Anybody can
factoids.
pull those up. Listen.
Do you know what...
Do you have a bodyguard?
Alex.
Why do you have bodyguards?
I don't have a bodyguard.
Yeah, I've seen you on the news with them. Don't you want to protect your wife from hoodlums, or you want to call the police?
Let me ask you this question.
Why does Dianne Feinstein tell 60 Minutes that she plans to try to take Mr. and Mrs. America's guns?
Stop
have you seen
talking
that
over me.
You guys want to disarm all of America.
No, I don't.
Dianne Feinstein's bill does.
No, that's the lie which the right in America keeps hammering, right? That Democrats want to take guns away. No one can take guns away. It is a constitutional right. Okay, gun control is not taking someone's right to own a gun away. Okay, it's not. Okay, basically, I remember this from the state of Maryland, right? The governor proposed, he was a Democrat governor, that there should be trigger guards on guns, right? To protect children, right, from accidentally shooting themselves or anyone else, right?
Yeah.
And seems like a sensible fucking idea to me. But the NRA said, this is an assault on the Second Amendment. Oh, for fuck's sake. Setting a gun with a trigger guard is not taking someone's right to own a fucking firearm away, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Asking someone to store a gun behind a locked fucking door is not taking someone's, right to own a gun away.
Yeah.
I don't.
Gun confiscation.
No, let me clarify for you. You don't seem to understand
First
what
you
it is I
register,
want.
then you confiscate. It's
No.
always done the same.
Here's what the campaign on this
Well, here,
show
give me
is.
your little cue cards and I'll answer your questions for
What
you.
was the weapon used at Sandy Hook?
I've already gone over that and already answered it for
We
you.
haven't talked about Sandy Hook.
No, again,
What was the weapon?
It's a 223 M4.
Right.
Again, but
it's an-
statistically,
right.
they're using very low percentage of shootings.
But
period.
are you
but
seeing?
you guys,
Are you seeing a
people
pattern?
wouldn't go swim.
Just about every spree shooting I can remember in recent years has used an AR-15 or a variant of an AR-15.
I can't remember specifically, but fuck, there's a lot of weird stuff with.
Well, the ones that come to mind
shootings
of the Vegas, because I mean this is before the Vegas shooting, and this is before the Pulse shooting in Orlando, which were, I think the two most deadly spree shootings there have been in the United States. I am remembering this off the top of my head because you hadn't seen this. So, anyways.
Swimming because the movie Jaws, even though great white sharks kill 5 people a year, you're trying to scare people.
Let me say something.
There's no metal shark in the water.
The same type of weapon was used in the last three
and that's right.
mass shootings.
And Hitler used semi-autos to kill people.
Why would you
and
not?
So did Mao.
Why would you?
Why is the government arming to the teeth against us?
Alex, I don't
What about Fast and Furious?
Alex.
It's like
Fast and the Furious was like a
no, it's a conspiracy theory. But
I just yeah.
Well, anyways, it's just like what about this and what about that? Well, what about Twinkies and what about the Cat in the Hat? What about whatever? It's just why not just ask Piers random questions about whatever? Just to distract from the fact that, you can't defend your own fucking arguments, Alex, because you don't have one.
Yeah.
Why did our government ship guns
Calm
into
down.
Mexico?
Alex.
To blame the Second Amendment?
Let's have a debate.
A false flag?
Alex.
To blame the Second Amendment?
I get accused.
Why'd they blow up Building 7 down the street here in New York?
I get accused when I get you guys on of talking over you, of being rude. I'm trying to be civil, right? You've got to try and answer some of the questions, right? Here's my issue for you. Why do people civilians need an AR-15 type assault rifle? Why do you...
Because they make good paperweights.
I disagree. That's not a good paperweight.
That was a joke, by the way.
No, you need to get like a handgun.
Well, they make a good doorstop.
Paperweight.
Yeah, maybe a good doorstop.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Already said
Although,
statistically, they're using...
Also giving a robber a gun to become an armed robber if you're using a semi-automatic rifle as a doorstop.
Amount of the crimes, that's an FBI fact.
They've been used in the last 3 mass shootings.
Yes.
Why do
I'll tell you why.
them?
Because they advertise it in the media. Anybody knows that if somebody jumps off the Empire State Building, they put cops up there the next day because copycats come to do it again. The media hypes and hypes and hypes.
That's not the question.
Don't just commit suicide.
Of course, you don't do any hyping about anything, do you, Alex? No. Do I need to remind you what you said about Sandy Hook? I'm surprised, actually. I don't know if he mentions it late in the time remaining. It's a while since I've seen his interview, but obviously this was after Alex had first said that he thought that Sandy Hook was, a false flag.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, and
fuck that shit.
People need to remember about Alex Jones, and I remember this very well. Sandy Hook was late in the morning in about mid-morning, I guess, in the East Coast of the United States, so it's late afternoon here. And I remember the news was coming in about it, and it was shocking, right? I remember that afternoon very well. And my first reaction was, I bet Jones is already saying it's a false flag. And I am not joking, I tuned into InfoWars. And yeah, he said it. He said it that very afternoon. So he can't say I didn't start the conspiracy theories. Jones, you were you were one of the first people I heard say it. So
Yeah.
Anyways, I mean he was actually I remember he tweeted out before the bodies were fucking cold, before they'd actually counted the number who were dead. He fucking tweeted out saying it was a false flag.
Yeah.
Why do people
He'll commit suicide by killing a bunch of kids, and here's the gun to use because it's the one the U.S. Army uses.
Why do people need them?
They need them to protect us from the #1 killer in history. Government in the 20th century, university study out of Hawaii killed.
Oh God, this really is prophetic. Considering, well, we're going to see in after this, but Jones, of course, jumped on the Trump bandwagon.
Yeah.
Oh, right. So this is a time when he was still anti-government.
Yeah.
Yeah. Different. It shows how long ago this was. Because he's all favor of the fascist. He's been all favor of the fascist government. Since he got on the Trump bandwagon. Anyways.
Killed 292 million people. It's called democide. Google it, folks.
Do you believe everyone in America should everyone in America therefore have an AR-15 if they want one?
Statistically, where there's more guns, there's lower crime. The highest crime is in Bloomberg.
But you have the most
controlled
guns
areas
of any of the 23 richest countries in the world, and you have 11,000
America was born on guns and whiskey.
Right, but
it's true we're a violent society.
Right. So you
but
accept that America has the most
knives
guns
kill
and the
3
most
times
gun
more.
murders.
Have you seen the FBI numbers? Knives, bats, rocks kill many times more.
Alex, let's talk about the guns.
It's not the rock. It's not the knife. When a mother chops her kids up with a cleaver because she's on serotonin.
Tell me why I'm wrong.
Why don't you want to get rid of the drugs? Because they're half your sponsors?
No, stick to the subject.
America's #1 cause of unnatural death now is suicide.
Alex,
not automobile accident, not cancer,
You accuse me of attacking the Second Amendment of the Constitution.
I want to get people off pills that the insert says will make you commit suicide and kill people.
Alex, Let's get about to the second.
I want to blame
Alex,
the real culprit.
Alex.
Suicide pills.
Alex.
Mass murder pills.
Okay, let me ask you one question. Your belief, unless I'm wrong.
First time anybody's ever heard this, by the way.
Your belief,
My
unless I'm
God,
wrong.
he
is
could
that
not
under the Second
shut
Amendment,
up.
Your real concern is that you will be overrun by a tyrannical regime, either from somewhere else
Yeah,
or
highway
from your own government.
checkpoints. Look at Mexico. Total gun ban for the citizens. Highest crime rate in the world. 57,000 people dead the last 5 years. Total gun ban for...
Because that wouldn't be because there are cartels having drug wars down there, which are whipped up by the fucking CIA, and that, you know, Mexico is still a developing nation, which is, you know, relatively poor, unfortunately. Nah, none of that would have anything to do with it, would it, Alex? No, of course not. Anyways.
For the citizens.
But you're
Switzerland has the lowest crime rate
Alex,
in Europe.
Alex,
Your country has the highest.
Alex, we have 35 gun murders a year. You have 11,000.
You people get their brains. It's the higher crime
Alex,
rate.
let me ask you-
Violent crime is higher.
On this specific...
It's brains.
Alex,
It's people.
I'm trying to get inside your brains.
Pierce,
It's
if
not
you
proving
punched
very
me
easy.
right...
That's difficult because he doesn't fucking have one.
No, he's got a brain. It's got like wonderful little colors. He hasn't replaced the battery often, so like most of the time it's not working right. But like, you know, when it does, it does a quick spark of an idea and an actual fact, and then it shuts back down.
Right now, it'd be not your fist, but your brain that did
Alex, let me get inside your brain.
Okay.
Okay? I'm serious. You have a very, very big platform. You air, I think, on 63 networks.
No, that Wikipedia is like 10 years old. I'm on over 140 stations, XM.
Millions of Americans hear you
Over 1.5 million
every day.
visitors to Infowars.com
And I
today,
congratulate
where we have
you
the
on your
statistics posted right now.
Okay.
Infowars.com.
Who do you believe was behind 9/11?
Oh, I absolutely know. I have the police on CNN saying, get back, they're going to blow up 7. I have BBC reporting.
who do you believe is behind it?
I have the proof. I heard them on CBS Radio.
God.
They announced they blew up the towers on CBS Radio.
do you believe-
New Yorkers all saw it and heard it.
Alex, who do you
They
believe...
blew up Building 7.
Alex, who do you believe was behind it? The American government?
Criminal elements of the military-industrial complex, the same ones that staged Gulf of Tonkin, the same ones that staged the mass shootings of Operation Gladio.
Right.
Ooh, the CIA don't like this
Alex,
right now.
Do you mean that President Bush and his administration were behind 9/11?
I mean that even mainstream news reported that the hijackers were ordered to be allowed into the United States. Michael Springman, the head of the Visa Department, blew the whistle on that.
So the Bush administration was part of a conspiracy
Well,
to
he
murder,
said never let us tolerate
to murder thousands of Americans.
I can speak in this accent as well.
Yeah.
The
But is that what you
government
believe?
of Hitler.
The reason why Piers Morgan speaks in that accent, Alex, is because he's fucking British.
Yeah.
He actually, funny enough, he's done this again with John Oliver, right? John Oliver took the basically what's the show he does on HBO?
Last Week Tonight.
Right. Okay. So they satirized Alex Jones, right? And Jones basically sort of mocked his British accent. This is always the one where you pretend to be intellectuals. No, that's just the way
Okay, I 100% don't believe that Alex Jones could impersonate the correct British accent for John Oliver.
Well, no, but I remember John Oliver's response to that was, if you think my accent is of an intellectual top, I would categorically tell you that it isn't. Yeah, because the thing is that a lot of Americans seem to think that we all sit around wearing bowler hats and drink cups of tea. No, and go call blight, oh darn, and whatever else, and that we all own corgi dogs and live in giant fucking mansions. No, we fucking well don't, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, you get the drift, right?
Yeah.
I mean, a little diversion.
Alex Jones can't fucking shut up. That's the drift.
Right now, we can't shut up, but sometimes maybe he ought to, because he said, you'll see he's got found out again. Now, I'm going to just remind people, when he was getting his ass, when his wife was divorcing his ass, right? His lawyer said in his defense that he was a performance artist. And at the time, we all laughed, right? But it appears actually his lawyer might have been onto something. Just watch this video. Now, okay, I should explain. The thing I need to explain. Yeah, I need to explain one thing about this. This video was shot as an outtake to a documentary Jones had commissioned in January 2019. So this is 2 years ago. Okay? So just bear that in mind.
Okay.
I'm so sick of fucking Donald Trump, man. God, I'm fucking sick of him. Rolling.
Did Jones have a moment
Part
of
of me.
clarity?
The selfish part. Wishes I'd never met Donald Trump. Wishes that I'd never met Roger Stone. Because unlike previous things I'd done that were game-changing, those were just time-space continuum reflections
What?
of the third big change I was going to be involved in. And that was bringing Donald John
Like he's
Trump
trying to
into
be
Austin.
poetic.
So I said it again. I said Austin into office. Because this is, you guys are actually really good questions. This is going to be a really good thing, but I'm going to say it again in a minute. Let's drink some of this Armani. I'll try to say it. Because it's the truth, and I'm just going to say it, that I wish I never would have fucking met Trump. I wish it never would have happened. And it's not that the attacks that I've been through. I'm so sick of fucking Donald Trump, man. God, I'm fucking sick of him. And I'm not doing this because it's like I'm kissing his fucking ass. You know, it's just like I'm sick of it. Do it in a minute.
There you are, folks. Alex Jones is a grifter. He
Yeah,
was just
I mean-
he jumped on the Trump bandwagon because he knew it was going to make him a few million. Okay,
Yeah, and
there is more.
that was clear during, because I feel like Alex Jones, because he's been involved with conspiracy theory shit for a while. He was the one that John Ronson wrote.
Them.
He was one of the people John Ronson wrote about when talking about.
Yeah. The book Them. I've read it and I've seen the documentary series. Yeah, and basically I had an interview with John Ronson about that, and he said he thought it was an act with Jones. He did.
Yeah, and you can see that with the book, because they find like real investigating that's done, and Alex Jones doesn't mention any of the truth of it.
Yeah. Now, so Jones was actually scared that this would eventually see the public eye. Because he says here, this is a private messaging, which is a screenshot of. Please don't put me bitching in the film. I don't do it a lot. You fucking will do, Jones. But But I do look out. Jones writes. Okay. I'm just trying to find where it says.
Oh wait, scroll a little bit. Okay, let's do it. To put me bitching in the film. I do want. Oh, I do look out. It's a good idea to go where I started in East Austin.
Yeah, here we are. Robertson, whom far-right figures hired to shoot a number of propaganda films, leaked the footage and the messages to Hate Watch to back up his claim that Jones is motivated by a desire to exploit Trump's fans. Well, yeah, that's kind of fucking obvious from just that clip. And the fact that you got to remember, you see, the thing is, right, I'm going to say this for Jones, 15 years ago, right, he was right about some stuff to do with the Bush administration and the Patriot Act and the rise of, the militarization of the police. Okay,
Yeah.
he was certainly onto something there. I mean, most of his stuff was always bullshit, but there was some stuff you thought, yeah, he's got a point. But then he jumped on the Trump bandwagon, and we were all going, what? Yeah.
Well, I mean, he went downhill slowly because he wanted to constantly, effectively get new content. So he made shit up, and then it just got more and more bullshit. I mean, it was always somewhat a fair amount bullshit, but I feel like he dived into things just to try to be creative.
So Jones bragged to him off camera about making 60 million in 2018. Although Jones is noted as can you pronounce that for me?
Is a noted fabulist.
Fabulous, that's it. So yeah, well, in other words, he's a bullshitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does embellish a lot. He does bullshit and embellish stuff. We know this. However, I actually think that probably is actually true. Because it says here, he testified in court under oath to bringing in 20 million in revenue in 2014. And one of the reasons I think it's true is because he did get a boost out of supporting Trump.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he probably does. Robertson told Hate Watch that Paul Joseph Watson, Pajama Watson. For those who don't know, I can't be bothered to go and show you his channel, but you can find it yourself on YouTube.
Yeah, fuck Paul Joseph Watson.
Well, I'm the one who coined the term. If you ever hear Dusty Smith or Kevin Logan refer to Paul Joseph Watson as Pajama Watson, I'm the one who coined that term. Because he sits indoors all the fucking time in front of that map, and the in front of that world map, the original version of which didn't have of New Zealand on it for some fucking reason.
I weirdly feel called out since I don't leave my room much.
Yeah, but anyways, this is Paul Joseph Watson, a far right internet performer, Jones hired to produce content, who also appeared in the propaganda film, allegedly telling Robertson that InfoWars allegedly told Robertson the InfoWars
founder paid him $16,000 per month for his work, or a salary of close to $200,000 annually.
Yeah, now Paul Joseph Watson's British, right? So that's in pounds.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
That would probably be about £140,000, I think, roughly about that. So, that, which is quite a substantial amount for a writer of, or someone who does the sort of internet, the content, which Paul Joseph Watson does. That is quite a lot of money. Robertson also told Hate Watch that off camera, and this is Jones took delight in belittling his own audience, suggesting he could sell them dick pills, and claiming they would buy anything. Right. I forgot to put it in the running order, but I'm going to show you if I can find it very quickly. There is Sam Cedar actually pointed this out actually. In a very funny piece, which I need to, I want to share. My fiance always finds this one funny. Oh shit! Hold on, wrong fucking. No, I don't want to go to there. Sorry, folks.
Alex Jones Super.
Hold on, I'm trying to find it. It's where he's basically selling boner pills. I gotta find it. It was a while ago. I don't know if Must still be up because it's very funny. Hold on.
Wait, what was that 8 years ago one?
Hold on.
Alex Jones listed on Peace. Oh, that was what we just watched, effectively. Alex Jones, fight the black helicopters with my manliness potion.
No, it's super vitality, but I don't know how to spell vitality.
Oh, okay. I can spell that. Wow, it is. Because I've got, yeah, Spirit of 1776 is the, yeah, Alex Jones has a hard-hitting breaking special report called The War on Male Vitality.
Yeah, can you send me the link in chat?
Yeah, that was the the black helicopters with my manliness potion one.
Oh, was it? Oh, hold on. All right, hold on. What was it called?
Well, I'm gonna send you the link. And it's just faster that way. In Zoom chat.
Okay.
There you go.
Thanks. Okay. Hold on. Right, got it. Yeah, so basically him selling dick pills is basically how he makes a lot of money. And there was this segment which is very, very... just watch Sam Cedar take the absolute piss, because this is very funny.
And hopefully I got
Here
the
is... All right, we have two sounds here.
For sure.
Now, as you know, Alex Jones is the purveyor of all secret truths. And when he is not out sending his...
Oh, no, it's not that one. It's this one. This is the one.
Oh, okay.
This is the one I was looking
Oh,
for.
the 17th, the magic female enhancement potion.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, when he is not telling you that we are controlled by the UN, when he is not telling you that the shooting in this school or that school of children's is a false flag, when he is not telling you that, of course, you are powerless to do anything about the New World Order except for listen to his show, because they are forces that are so supreme, so powerful, they can change the weather. They can make patsies out of anyone. They can create any fiction possible. And the only way you have to fight back is to become an InfoWars member. When Alex Jones is not doing what the CIA would readily pay someone to do if he didn't exist, which is to prove to people that they are powerless, because these forces are...
That is a very good point. And funny enough, I know a lot of libertarians, because a lot of libertarians sort of like, some libertarians get dragged into Alex Jones's bullshit, right? But I know other libertarians who go, yeah, that's the point of Jones. He sort of like, it's as if he's given up. You know, but we can't fight the government. Yeah. In other words, he's a defeatist.
Yeah.
So all-encompassing, as opposed to just a lot of rich people with aligned self-interest. He is also promoting, just by chance, totally by happenstance, never planned, just total kismet,
It was total kismet.
Total kismet.
It was
He's just always running into people who are benefiting from his special herbs formula. Just check this video out.
Well, let's go to Amy Steiner. Amy, literally, I didn't even know you got a bottle of this that Shane took some a month and a half ago. I learned about it last week that you were bouncing off the walls from it, from what I heard. Tell us, and I appreciate you giving us a review, what happened now that you've been on the Super Feminine Vitality?
Well, my husband started taking it, and I was super impressed with the effects that it had on him. So
You're talking about the male vitality, the male vitality.
Yeah, the male vitality. So
You're talking about the male vitality, which of course is involved at Infowars.com/ male vitality. That's what you're talking about.
Just making sure, because we can't have the men.
Also, Jen, I want to make it absolutely clear, even though we didn't plan this in advance, keep using the adjective super, because we find on our AB email testing that the use of the word super will continue to promote the purchase of the super female vitality. Go ahead, continue with the completely spontaneous interview, because I had no idea that you were actually taking this product.
I took the male vitality a couple of times, and I had energy and everything, but when he brought me home the bottle.
Did you find, I just want to interrupt here for one moment. Did you find that when you were taking the super male vitality by accident, it was your husband's, did you find it made did it actually increase, promote the increase of your male organs?
Super female. I mean, after about 3 or 4 days, I mean, I'm normally a pretty groggy person, having drank a bunch of coffee and stuff like that, but I had tons of energy, tons of motivation, a lot of drive, at the gym. I think, well, my husband thinks I've been in a better mood.
And he says you've been chasing him around the house?
Well,
I mean, to make him do chores, I mean.
I just want to throw something in here. So, guys, when you get the super male vitality, one of the problems, of course, is you're going to have to find that you're going to spend a lot of time in the bathroom by yourself. Unless, of course, you get your significant other the super female vitality, in which case, then she's going to... it's going to increase her sexual drive.
You will disrupt the New World Order at its very foundations, to the passion of your lovemaking, literally.
One of the things that this is going to do is that, you could put a sign on your trailer. Hey, UN, don't come a-knocking if the trailer...
No, honestly, though, my libido is skyrocketed, honestly. It's pretty crazy. The super male didn't do that to me, but the super female, there's something different about that is really, our relationship, all I can say is it's a lot better now.
And again, Shane ended up, testing it out because he's like, oh, yeah, supplements, right. I've tried all the male supplements. We're like, here, just take a couple bottles. He comes back weeks later, I got to have more of that. Now my dad's doing it, blah, blah, blah. What's in that? His trainer loves it. And then I guess he got some of the tester bottles that I was giving to women I know, like, let's see how good this really is, because I test everything. And Shane's like, I need more of that. So, Amy, what would you say just in one sentence about super feminine vitality?
I would say that I'm so glad that you guys made this for women. It's really helped me, around the house, taking care of my kids. I'm in the best.
So, okay, I will show you the male version as well, because he does sell. Basically, Jones makes his money from selling boner pills. Okay?
To debunk the fact that 26 people and 20 kids were killed in Sandy Hook, Connecticut. He is also raising money to spread the truth. But sometimes he's lucky to stumble on the real truth, which also just happens to make him money. I would say he stumbles on that almost 100% of the time. But here, this is a big...
You still there, Alex?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't broken you or anything, because I find this very funny.
No, I was laughing like the whole time. I don't know if I was just quiet, but like, holy shit.
We've got it. Let's go. Let me just cue this up. This is Alex Jones now with a video camera just going around his office, just completely impromptu.
I've been slightly depressed, and this has actually helped out a lot. And
Well, you hadn't told me that.
Well, Gucci already noticed that I wasn't my
looks
usual
like
self.
he's about to
and-
crack
pause it.
up.
Now he's just going around. He's just going around. He just runs into Shane
They
Steiner,
look like they're about to
who's
laugh.
a fitness gun enthusiast who works, I think, at InfoWars Life Central. I don't know. I'm not even sure where he's wandering around. But go ahead.
I'm telling you, it's. I'm already starting to feel a whole lot better.
And he did say, I'm trying to go back into the gym and everything. I
Yeah.
said, well, just try this. And he was like, well, I don't know, is it good? And I said, yeah, give it a try.
This is completely candid. You weren't even going to be.
No, I wasn't even going to be in this.
Okay, well, Shane was just saying, wow, this stuff's really great after like 4 or 5 days. Now you're telling me you mentally, what did it do?
I'm a lot sharper, definitely, and I'm in a whole lot better mood. And I'm actually wanting to go do some like before pictures to see what over like the next 4 or 5 weeks we'll do.
So you're really going to do this?
I'm really going to do this.
Okay, because I've known you since high school. You're on the gun show with us, and I'm just glad that Gucci already gave you a bottle of that. No, but I was interrupting you earlier. What did you immediately feel when you were doing it, and why do you want to do this?
Well, I was actually just trying it out. I wasn't really expecting anything from it. And
like
after
This is what is hard. This is hard-hitting investigative journalism that Alex Jones. No, wait a second. Let's go back. So what did it feel like as you ingested this product that we just happened to have around the office?
The video is titled "The War on Male Vitality Exposed Special Report."
Yes. Okay. Let's go. Continue.
probably 3 or 4 days, it like I was in a better mood and I was wanting to go to the gym.
Steiner, we're going to see what happens in a month and in 2 months. Any final thoughts? And we're doing this.
I guess I'm going to have to start going to the gym now.
The video you just saw was shot on Anthony Gucciardi's iPhone 5 weeks ago. And it was totally impromptu. We were talking about the rave reviews we were getting from listeners and viewers about super male vitality.
Definitely not scripted.
All right, and now, of course, just coincidentally, follows that up with an ad for super male vitality, which, of course, it's completely impromptu.
I don't even know how they put this ad together.
I don't know. This is this ad just.
There's a sort of spontaneous combustion.
The ad just showed up in my office, and that's when that was the first moment when I was like, I recognize that voice in that ad. It sounds like me. Let me go out with a video camera.
It's called Plus Platform Integration. Oh, excuse me, I said that by mistake.
Let's go out. Let's go. Check this out. I'm gonna find out just what happened. The super male vitality. And why do you need super male vitality? I'll tell you why.
The globalist social engineers are not just targeting us with propaganda. They are manipulating our genetics. We are being targeted at every level by estrogen mimickers that lower our testosterone and other hormones and natural compounds that the body needs. After consulting top doctors, nutritionists, pharmacists, and others, we have developed what I believe is the ultimate
Wait. Go back a couple seconds. One of the guys in the lab coat was the person he talked with earlier that was just randomly showing up in a completely different outfit. That guy. And
yeah, you're right.
The guy, one of the guys in the lab coats is one of the people he was talking with to promote it.
Top doctors, nutritionists, pharmacists, and others. We have developed what I believe is the ultimate non-GMO
closet.
What?
That looks like a janitor closet that the supposed lab workers are in. Oh my god, this is like an SNL sketch, and
that's a good one.
Like, holy shit. Because it's so absurd.
It's an SL sketch. It's Saturday Night Live sketch, but it's for fucking real.
Yeah, I know. It's like, I don't even understand how people can take this seriously. It's just so obvious bullshit.
Organic.
Now understand, I have a very busy schedule. So in between coming up with all these fanciful ideas, running essentially flacking for trying to make people feel powerless about their ability to change things, because of course we're run by the Trilateral Commission. I also in my spare time go into the garage and I come up with a formula that I help the people from Super Male Vitality come up with
So, in other words, it was completely impromptu that I was finding out how people liked super male vitality, which I just walked into and they were just taking it. So I grabbed their iPhone and I shot it. And also, we came up with these ingredients. I don't. In fact, I'm going to do another ad after this ad to allow you the secret in my pamphlet to figure out what I'm talking about here. Go ahead.
Organic super male vitality formula sourced from powerful organic herbs and then concentrated for maximum potency. Super male vitality was developed to activate your body's own natural processes instead of using synthetic chemicals. Super male vitality by InfoWars Life is so powerful that I only take half the recommended dose. For a limited time, we are offering 15% off super male vitality at InfoWarsLife.com to introduce you to this powerful supplement. Visit InfoWarsLife.com today to secure your super male vitality. InfoWars Life.
This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, or cure any prevent any disease. If you're pregnant, nursing, taking medication, or have a medical condition, consult your doctor before taking any substance. I assume that's the last part. The bar's coming.
Life.com.
All right. Are you done?
Yeah.
All right.
Now, I know you might be thinking, that's sort of irresponsible. You only take half dosage, but the rest of you, that's because I have so much vitality. If I took the full dosage, I would have super male vitality. I'd probably end up having multiple penises.
If I took all the vitality pills, the globalists would just shut this down. There won't be any hope. The response to the trilateral globalist Clinton cartel would shut me down the day I took that supplement.
By the way, the guy that you can't hear is doing the other voice. That's Michael Brooks, who sadly died last year.
Oh.
Yeah, died of a blood clot in the throat. Or very suddenly. He was only like 37.
Oh God.
Yeah.
That's only 2 years older than me.
Anyways, yeah, it was sad. He was a nice guy. Anyways,
able to impregnate so many women at one moment.
I guess Michael Brooks just didn't take enough super male vitality.
Look, I mean, if you take enough vitality, you can basically water bend your sperm into everyone. Start up. Okay.
Sorry, I didn't expect that one from you.
Well, look, things pop into my mind. It's from the super female vitality. It helps boost my brain serum.
Globalists would have to shut it down because they'd be afraid of just how vital I was.
There literally would be no more gay fish in the sea. I would reverse that on one full dosage of super male vitality, and if the globalists said that, we'd shut it down. And I know I'm risking my life doing this every day, but that would be a certain death sentence for me, and I'm not ready to take that step yet, folks.
Understand that everybody out there who sells a pink tie would be coming after me because, well, all of a sudden males would be so vital. They'd have so much male vitality that you'd never be able to sell a pink tie again.
Barack Obama would sick his pink tie Muslim cartel, the Trilateral Commission, on me, and I would not wake up.
This is a 12-minute video, I might add. These were just clips from it.
Right.
12 minutes. Part of it, there's a section where they actually do show the Steiner guys before and after photos. And the before photo is him just like standing there. He's kind of like big guy.
Nice fake tan. Don't you think?
Yeah, and also like the difference between those two photos is like, so it's two things. One, I mean, if
you Alex Jones doesn't realize that we realize there's a thing called Photoshop.
Well, yeah, but even if it wasn't Photoshop, all it would take would be dehydration and him sucking in his gut. and you get that same effect with, dehydration of fake tan. So that's what a lot of bodybuilders do. That's where they get the vein poppiness.
Guy, but he's
there's
got
a
like
lot
a
of
beer
different
belly.
things about it.
And the second one is like
He's ripped.
completely
He's ripped. Let me tell you something.
No, he's
folks.
ripped like
Let me say, I want to say
He's
one
ripped.
thing right here. If we ever start a majorityreportlife.com lifestyle choices and selling vitamins, I'm asking now. If I have to put money into an escrow fund, but I will pay someone to kill me, and I will put it in escrow. Put the money in escrow just in case I end up ever having to go down.
Or
that
it could be
route.
honest. Like, this is the formula I take that keeps me exhausted and aggravated most of the day. Hi, I'm Sam Cedar. I feel good.
I want to tell Sam Cedar's going out there. He's selling a super male lack of vitality vitamin supplement, which makes him tired. It has completely shrunk his libido down to something that is almost immeasurable. It is
Exhausted.
Yeah, you get the guy.
Yeah.
Now there is one other really good take on Alex Jones and boner pills. It's from John Oliver's last week tonight. I can't show it because I will get down for copyright. Okay.
Yeah.
But do check it out because he points out. You remember the whole rant Jones had about I don't like them putting chemicals in the water to turn the frogs gay. Right? Remember that one? Right? Well, basically, he shows what Jones says afterwards, which is. And you can buy water filters, the best in the industry from InfoWars.
Yeah.
Check that out in your own time because basically with Jones, it's all about selling shit. That's about it. Okay.
Yeah. He's basically a snake oil salesman.
Yeah, it's essentially.
I mean, plenty of people have also pointed that out.
Yeah.
Although, we all know that the snake oil gives you super vitality.
But the thing is, Jones is extremely cynical, and he's just used. Yeah, we knew that basically there were all these far right fucking gobshites. They're just grifters. That's all they are. Yeah? I mean, I heard someone say, now, is Jones suddenly going to become a lefty? If he becomes a lefty, of course, he'll become a tanky. Yeah?
Yeah, definitely, 100%. There's no way he would go another way because, honestly, tankies are the ones who are the most likely to believe the shit they spits out, so...
Well, sometimes there isn't that much difference between a tanky and a fascist, to be honest.
Yeah.
The thing is, I mean, he's been on all points of the fucking political spectrum on the right. I mean, he's been a libertarian, a paleoconservative, fascist, nationalist. Isn't it time he drifted leftwards? Yeah, become a tanky, Alex. Anyways, so saw this. Thought this was actually quite a good thing. Someone said.
Yeah. I've seen that as well.
Why pride is needed. Well, actually, let me explain some background here, because you always get this in February when it's Black History Month and LGBT History Month, right? You always get white people go, why is there a White History Month? Well, that's because white people...
Most of history.
White people... Yeah, white people have been the people who've written fucking history.
Yeah.
And written it in a way which sees them in a favourable light, shall we say, when they've not been in a favourable light. In fact, actually, Kevin Logan and Christy Winters are doing a series at the moment, White Racist History Month, basically pointing out, so I'm going to do some white history about white people being racist, including they started off with Churchill. Yeah. Straight people aren't murdered for being straight. This is true. Straight people have never had to fight for the right to marry. True. You don't hear kids say they're so straight as an insult. 4, it's never been illegal to be straight. The list goes on. Well, exactly. And that's a good fucking point.
Yeah.
And I know that you've seen this one.
Yeah, I saw it actually from a friend of mine that posted that before you did, but I liked it all because it's a really good one.
Yeah, my Judaism includes black and brown Jews.
Yeah.
Maybe the Israeli government should be reminded of that. You know,
Yeah.
nudge, nudge, wink, wink. You are a bit racist, Netanyahu. Well, seriously, no, because my friend Jackie Walker's Jewish, right, and she's black, right, and she gets a lot of shit, you know, particularly, that
the
she's
friend
not.
who posted that she's also a black Jewish person and brown, whatever, like. I forget.
Well,
I forget what range of color thing counts, but I don't remember all of her background. But yeah.
My Judaism includes converts and Jews in progress. My Judaism includes because you always get the one about converts aren't real Jews. You always get that one. Yeah.
I hear it mostly from fascists, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, from very Orthodox Jews. The like extreme. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, like obviously, because my parents converted, I think Orthodox Jews would be fine with me, but I've definitely heard anti-Semites make the argument that I must not really be Jewish.
My Judaism includes disabled and chronically ill Jews. I've not heard of any ableism from the Jewish community, but I would imagine ableism is an issue in wider society, so yeah.
Well, I'm sure it's probably an issue in Orthodox Judaism since those have the most conservative people. I mean, Ben Shapiro said if you vote Democrat, you're not a real Jew.
Yeah, I know that. My Judaism, he's going to hate this, isn't he? My Judaism includes, I can't pronounce that word. Can you do?
Patrilineal Jews.
What does that mean?
It means Jewish people who are ethnically Jewish because their father is Jewish.
Oh, right. Okay. My Judaism includes queer Jews. My Judaism includes trans Jews. Actually, going back to the patriarchal thing, you've always accepted that it's on your mother's side. That's what I was always taught. It's the maternal side.
Well, if you want to go strictly in terms of Judaism, but like if your father is Jewish and your mother's not Jewish, and culturally you celebrate Judaism or whatnot, it's like you're born and raised with the culture, and even if you never converted and your mom never converted, like you'd still be Jewish.
Yeah, no, I do like this, and Ben Shapiro is going to fucking well hate it, so that's probably why I like it. But he's a fascist and a capo as well.
Yeah.
I know some people are going to say you called Ben Shapiro a fascist. You're an anti-Semite. Just because you're Jewish doesn't mean you can't be a fascist. Fascism comes in all different flavors. Oh yeah. This is one of the funniest things I've seen tweeted recently. So, to explain to people who don't know, Mumsnet is the online nexus for TERFs. Okay?
Yeah.
Let's just say that. In fact, actually, they've actually got, believe it or not, they have got a discussion thread dedicated to yours truly.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they do.
I'm jealous. No.
Yeah. They love me.
I'm really. I've never checked Mumsnet, so I honestly don't know. Although, Yeah, I remember Graham Linehan trying to get on there when he was kicked off Twitter, and he got like a bunch of flack.
Yeah, there's more about Graham later, unfortunately. Um,
Ooh.
yeah, so basically, so Mumsnet said transphobia is not tolerated on Mumsnet. Oh God, without any fucking irony.
That's like saying fascism isn't supported on that fucking website that's not supported by Google anymore.
That's like racist when they say, "Oh, we don't believe in apartheid. We just believe in ethno-national states."
Oh God.
We have a strong set of guidelines that all users have to adhere to. Any reports about posts are carefully read and assessed by our team of paid trained moderators who are all TERFs, so they don't think that anything posted is transphobic. We suspend users who break our rules repeatedly. Now, you probably only suspend those users who will get you sued.
Yeah. Or I mean, if the moderators are transphobic, then likely if a trans person gets on, they might get kicked off for misogyny.
Well, yeah, it's a bit like Parler, so they believe in free speech, but like when lefties...
Parler was what I was trying to think of. It is like Parler saying that they're against fascism, that fascism is not tolerated.
And yet they kick off lefties, so... yeah, no one believes this whole shit, so... yeah. Yes, Twitch. This is something, of course, TERFs are going to be up in arms about. So the streaming platform Twitch has apologised after it faced a backlash for using the alternative spelling woman nix instead of women. Sorry, the word women has come into more frequent use. Sorry, wimix. Oh bloody hell!
Well, no, I mean, it might just be.
I've never heard this fucking term before.
I'm vaguely aware of it. It's but I think most of what I've heard.
And generally, the far right seem to think I'm too woke for my own good, and I haven't heard of this term. The word womenix. Sorry.
Oh,
womenix.
It's still pronounced women. It's just the reasoning was that it's the original reasoning. It seems to be like it was so that in terms of spelling, woman wouldn't be focused more on the man part or whatever.
I get you. The only thing is, womanix. If you to take it on the how it's how I would pronounce it, sounds like a window cleaner or sanitary towel.
Well, it's pronounced woman. It's still pronounced the same. It's just they put an X there instead.
All right. The word, whatever. However, the word has been used extensively by transphobes on social media in effect to delegitimize trans women's identities. Yeah. Now that's I didn't know, and I'm usually quite hot on
that I was vaguely aware of. It's just the way because they want to. So the original reasoning for it being made was to make the word woman not about men. And so like all women, it was sort of the reasoning to try to make so that all women should use that. But because it's not a common usage, transphobes basically were like, hey, we got like a way to distinguish between trans women and the real women. So we'll just call trans women using the one with an X in it.
The word has been a subject of controversy and debate in the past, with a number of organisations facing criticism for using women with an X in an effort to be inclusive of trans and non-binary. Hold on. Yet they're saying that it's used by TERFs. Yet here it's saying it's being. I'm a bit confused.
No. See, it's used by TERFs likely because it's being put in there to try to be inclusive of trans and non-binary people. But I mean, the term itself was originally just to be about all women, but it's sort of using it in a way that focuses on trans women or whatever makes it seem like it's for describing trans women.
No,
never used to describe cis women.
I have never used the term spelt with an X, right?
Yeah.
And I don't understand why Twitch used it. Most trans women I know are quite happy with the term trans woman. Okay? What's wrong with that? That's no problem. Let's move on. But I would imagine some radical some TERFs will get their panties in a bind about this. Seriously,
it's one of those things where it was misused by some organizations, and then TERFs latched onto that. So TERFs, use it now more than the average woman out there, which is just.
Hold on, someone makes a point here. I sure am glad that Twitch used use women to include trans women, but still haven't added a trans tag so you can actually find trans streamers. It's funny actually. There are a lot of trans streamers who are actually in stealth on Twitch. I think you'll find there are some who are out. Yes.
Well, yeah. I mean, I stream on Twitch. Obviously, there is the LGBTQIA+ tag. That is a tag on the stream. The only reason it's not used as much by LGBTQIA+ streamers is because TERFs use that to try to attack trans streamers.
Right. Yeah, see, it is what it says here. Spelling women as with an X was completely pointless. The word women was already inclusive to trans and non-binary women. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I said, that wasn't like the original purpose of trying to change the words was just to not have the word feel as dependent on the word man.
Right. Well, somebody had a response to all this. Yes, if it's not Marjorie Taylor Greene, it's Lauren Bobbitt. All right. Well, let's have a listen to what she has to say.
Which we all know that's just the Democrats using a play on words. There's nothing about equality in that act. If anything, it's supremacy of gays and lesbians and
what? Sorry? Come again?
Yeah, no. Look, just
look, you white heteronormative cisgendered fucks have had your foot on our fucking throat for centuries. Now that we want the same equality as you're now calling us supremacists.
Well, the
check your fucking privilege. Check your fucking history. You stupid cunt.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's projection because she's the type that would probably be in favor of conversion therapy. So she probably wants to views it as a war between cis-hets and LGBTQIA instead of the true reality of the situation, which is just a small number of people wanting to be themselves. And that's it.
Transvestites. I mean, like, that's what this is about putting them higher than anyone else. It's not about equality. If you look at the Constitution, then that is where equality is kept secure and held sacred. We have
right, that bit in the Constitution where it says black people were what was it 3/5 of a white person? Yeah, there is that bit. That's for equality, not.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, because so you have that, which is totally fucked up because they didn't they were like freedom for white people, slavery for black people, but yeah, we didn't get freedom until in this country at all until true freedom until 1865.
Well, I would say you didn't, because women still didn't have the right to vote then, and we have to talk about the persecution of LGBTQ people.
Yeah.
And that's still going on. You still haven't got freedom.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It was closer.
Yeah, it was closer, but it's... But anyways, yeah, I mean, it's the kind of shit you'd expect her to say, isn't it? So.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. My first response to this is, why the fuck would any trans woman go to fucking CPAC? I mean.
Yeah, I know, but this. I love this story. We did talk about this on Rainbow Shelter News yesterday, but yes, I love this story.
Yeah, all right. Well, as you've covered it already, you can. So, former Trump official Richard Grenell has experienced Republican transphobia. Oh yeah, basically to tell people that actually, should I tell them now just to cut out the bullshit? He shared an experience of a trans woman who went to CPAC, right? And apparently, well, here it is. There we go. So, statement for the record: CPAC 2021 was an incredibly accepting and wonderful experience for this transgender Republican woman. I worked the log cabin Republican booth. Are they still going? Fucking hell. When the fucking... I have to ask, I mean, do the Republicans actually have to make it an actual policy that they would actually like to basically shoot all LGBTQ people before LGBTQ people in the Republican Party realise they're not welcome? Yeah,
well, I mean...
or would they actually still go along with that, saying they probably fucking deserve it?
I don't know. There's a... You have to have a fair amount.
You have to be a fucking...
You either have to have a fair amount of self-hatred, or...
you're very rich. You're very rich and privileged.
Yeah. And you care about the money more than the lives of the...
Well, that's generally that is the case, and we'll get onto a story in a minute about it. Booth, and received nothing but respectful questions about things in the news about transgender people. Much better.
100%, I guarantee you, those questions were not respectful by any measure.
Yeah,
it was stereotypical anti-trans questions that
like, have you had the chop?
Wanted to Blair White it.
Yeah, because Blair White seems to think, well, Blair White and there's a few other conservative trans people seem to think it's okay to be asked some very, personal questions, which are none of anyone's fucking business. I mean, I've had experience of this myself. When India Willoughby, and this is one reason I have a real problem with India, went on a public forum, She asked me, had I had surgery? And if not, why not? That's none of her fucking business. Okay?
Yeah.
Much better and easy to get along with a crowd than any... Fuck off!
Well, yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, Gina Roberts is clearly, like, one of those transmedicalist bitches who's just, like,
Oh
you
yeah,
know.
yeah. I remember there's been trans medicalists I've known in the past who say, why do we take part in Pride? You know, that's for lesbian and gay people.
Yeah, no.
Well, let me think. Stonewall riots. Who instigated the Stonewall riots? Who kicked them off? Oh yeah, trans people. Thank you. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's true in the UK as well. Trans people were a big part of LGBT activism there too.
No, but what I'm saying is the actual Stonewall riot, right?
Yeah. No, I know what you're
people
talking
like people
about.
like Jake.
That trans. I was just trying to say that trans people get written out of Stonewall riots, and they also get written out of UK history as well.
We've always been part of the LGBTQ civil rights movement, okay? From its very inception, okay?
Yeah.
So now she made this statement, right? And Richard Grenell sort of shared it, but he didn't get the response he thought he was going to get. Transgenderism is demonic. No matter how much dollars your donors give you to convince you it isn't. Is CPAC going to start advocating for chemical castrations for minors next year? Because that's what's coming. Showing the truth from CPAC's.
That reporters won't acknowledge us.
Yeah, that's his tweet, and I don't want this party, this insanity, and against everything I stand for, and against Christ.
It's not against Christ. Christ didn't give a shit if you're trans. That was never a part of any part of the Bible, actually.
Plus, also, Jesus was a hippie. If you support this, you are not a conservative.
I mean, Jesus went and supported and helped a prostitute in this little-known book known as the Bible, and it seems they don't want to acknowledge that, you know, they would want Jesus dead if someone like Jesus showed up today.
Now, there is one defense, and actually I'd agree with this, but generally the responses were pretty negative and transphobic. But this one I do agree with. I know Gina, and there is no doubt that she is a true conservative and a strong woman. Anybody who thinks that someone should be excluded from our party because of orientation or sexual or gender, it should actually be gender identity, but never mind, shouldn't call themselves a champion of personal liberty. Exactly. That's a very
kicking out women.
Yeah, that's a very good. Well, the bit about personal liberty is a very good point, because conservatives are always going on about the freedom of the individual, right? And you know, well, the ultimate, and this was acknowledged in Adam Curtis's recent documentary, the ultimate form of expression of individual liberty is being trans. So,
yeah,
well, that's true. Fun fact: the personal opinion of a singular trans person at CPAC doesn't change the fact that the vile transphobic rhetoric was spewed from CPAC main stage by powerful people for days. Yeah, and we're going to get to some of that. He didn't get the response he was looking for, basically, on the whole. He just got a load of transphobic abuse. That's what he got.
Oh, yeah, I looked at it from a different site, but yeah, I saw some of the transphobic abuse that Richard Grinnell was arguing with conservatives.
But are they really conservatives or are they fascists now? One has to ask themselves that question.
Yeah, so Richard Grinnell was also making the argument that the Republican Party should be more inclusive.
Well, that's if I was a GOP strategist, I would point out that there's a good number of LGBTQ people, right, who are middle class professionals, right, who live out in the suburbs, right, who probably don't want to pay high taxes, right?
Yeah.
And you kind of think if the GOP were a bit more inclusive, they could actually attract those people, because at the moment, everything they say scares them away. It really is. The lunatics have taken over the fucking asylum when it comes to the GOP. It really is.
Yeah, although if the lunatics took over the asylum, there would probably be significantly better treatment. If we're talking about, that's another story.
Anyways, I was about to say, this reminded me of someone I knew, right? This is an article I actually wrote about them. A person called Rebecca Batty. And now the really sad thing about me and Rebecca is that I actually got on with her at a personal level, right? We both big Doctor Who fans, both into gaming, both like to sink a drink or two, right? Now, she was a member of UKIP. Now, at one point, I kind of thought, well, UKIP, yeah, hard right. But, what their main aim was, what we now know as Brexit, right? But then what happened was, when Nigel Farage stepped down as leader of UKIP, a guy called Gerald Batten ended up taking over. And he decided he was going to get Tommy Robinson, who is essentially a violent football hooligan. Actually, when our football hooligan's not violent. He's, he's basically a criminal, right? Who has a bit of a cult following, okay? Well, a bit of a cult following.
Okay.
Right? Yeah, well, he's a fascist, what we would call here a fascist boot boy.
Yeah, sort of like Sargon of Akkad.
Well, I was going to get to Sargon because then Batten recruited, was it Paul Joseph Watson, Sargon, and Count Dacula into the UKIP fold. And of course, there was that infamous European parliamentary campaign by Sargon, where he got milkshake several times and fish thrown at him and all sorts of shit. And the
dangerous milkshakes, okay? They're super threatening, the milkshakes.
But even before all this, right, I often questioned her because I do remember some of the shit which UKIP officials came out with. Basically, the UKIP General Secretary saying, if you don't like she-males, then come to Britain, and bemoaning the NHS carrying out gender reassignment surgery. Now, okay, Rebecca might respond by she went private. She did, actually. This tells you that she's got money. Okay, I'll also point out here that she was donating so much money to the party at one point. She was a member of the VIP members. Their VIP.
So you found out Rebecca Batty was a bit batty.
I didn't go that low. It's kind of.
I'm sorry. I probably.
I will tell you something off air about what I did do with Rebecca, but I'm not going to say on air. The UKIP member of the Welsh Assembly who said trans people could implode society because we were
because we were deviation from the norm.
Deviation from the norm. the general threat UKIP have tried to pose in wanting to start a cultural war against trans rights. Now, this is even before, like, you know, Tommy Robinson and Sargon of Akkad was involved. This is when UKIP were trying to be more respectable, shall we say. As I pointed out, you know, Nikki Sinclair, who was actually got elected as an MEP, and I'll never forget, she appeared on, there's a show here called Politics. Well, it used to be called The Daily Politics. It's now called Politics Live, right? And I remember someone showed me a video of this, because I didn't actually watch this. I'm a fairly regular viewer of this program, being as I'm a political anorak. And I remember someone showed me this video of her, right? And I said, "Is she trans?" And I looked up and I looked at her and I went, "I knew she was." You know, I don't. It sounds a bit nasty, but I can obviously, as a trans person, tell sometimes who another trans person is, right?
I've definitely thought that before. I once saw a reality TV show, and there was the most masculine looking woman out there, but she also had become she also became pregnant on that show, and it's like, well,
no, I knew pretty much what Nikki Sinclair. I can't be bothered to dig out that particular video.
No,
because it was some time ago. But
you're talking about.
But anyways, I could see that she was trans. I didn't say to this person, right, that I knew that. I said, I don't know, right, because you don't out trans people. You might strongly suspect are trans. Okay.
And
so, but anyways, but both Nikki Sinclair and Kelly Maloney left UKIP, citing homophobia and transphobia being rife throughout the party. This is an important point to make because Rebecca was both trans and a lesbian, okay, and she stayed in the party after that, despite all this homophobic and transphobic bullshit. Including saying that blaming bad weather on gay marriage, which was very funny.
Oh yeah, I remember that. My favorite one was there's the storm and like a cross got knocked down in one place that accepted gay marriage, but they were like, nobody got hurt, but like this anti-LGBT church practically got destroyed or whatever. And it's just, it's funny when they blame the weather.
Right. Now, okay, so basically she's pictured with I should explain, David Coburn unfortunately, UKIP actually managed to get one MEP in Scotland elected. The guy called David Coburn, right? Who was actually openly gay, but opposed same-sex marriage.
Yeah.
Yeah. In other words, he was an Uncle Tom. And Roger Helmet. Now, she's pictured here with Roger Helmet. Let me... hopefully this article is still up. Yeah. Roger Helmer for dummies, right? This is basically all the fucking homophobic and transphobic shit he said, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Quite a lot, right? Over the years, right? And that was dated, that was... Oh yeah, hold on, when does it... Sorry.
This is...
2014, so, yeah, I don't know when he stepped down as an MEP. I think it would have been 2019. Yeah. But basically, he has said a lot of repugnant shit about the LGBTQ community. And of course, but Rebecca said, and I do remember Rebecca saying to me, "Oh, I've never had a problem with him." And I go, well, that's because you give UKIP a lot of money, you stupid moo. I mean, of course they're going to like you for giving them money. You're that fucking stupid. And And you're the token. You know, you can be used as the token fucking tranny, can't you? Yeah. With Rebecca, but I mean, the biggest hypocrisy with Rebecca, right, was that she actually lived out in Switzerland. Now, she didn't pay income tax in Britain, as far as I knew. I don't think she did. I know she probably paid. I know she owned property here, so she might have owned. She might have paid property taxes here. But the important thing is she didn't pay income tax, right? And yet she wanted to have a constitution say in the constitutional direction of this country. I call that fucking hypocrisy. Right?
Yeah.
That was actually my biggest objection with her. But I mean, when she told me, so when, you know, all the stuff with Sargon started blowing up, and, you know, Tommy Robinson was also running to be elected an MEP. I remember the last conversation Rebecca I had, and this will be the last conversation we'll ever have. She despite being a trans lesbian, was supporting Tommy Robinson, a jumped up bigoted fascist with a Napoleonic complex, who along with his legion of knuckle dragging fanboys, is just as much of a threat to LGBTQ people, and specifically trans women, as he is to Muslims and immigrants. But if that wasn't enough to have me banging my head on my desk, she then proceeded in attempting to defend. Yeah, she actually, because you obviously know about Carl Benjamin sent these tweets about rape to Jess Phillips, who was a Labour, she still is a Labour MP, and she's a survivor of sexual assault. I mean, the one thing you just don't do with women is talk about fucking rape, right? And she tried to defend this, and I just couldn't fucking believe it, and I just thought, that's it, you've crossed the line. I can't, you know. But well, I'm telling you, you know,
Benjamin in general is like a terrible.
But
thing.
The thing with Rebecca is that she's white, she's rich, so doesn't give a shit, right? Yeah, sorry, that's it. Simple as. Ah, yes, the latest take on Marjorie Taylor Greene hanging signs. I'm a broken person and find joy in harming others. I'm another awful person. Yeah.
I mean, those things are always good.
Right. Talking of Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's been at CPAC. There's a surprise. And she was well, it was only a matter of time before I had to respond to a Caitlin Bennett video. And this is the first one I've responded to. And this is going to get a lot of interruptions. I've already been through some of it. So, let's get on with it.
Conservatives, Trump supporters, to speak up, what would you say to them?
I would say that we are possibly living in the last days of having free speech.
You never shut the fuck up!
Yeah.
All this taking my free speech away. You're always perpetually in the fucking news, saying some asinine shite, or this or that and the other.
I've been cancelled because this one place won't sell my books. Oh, by the way, my books are still coming out. Yeah. And I'm still gonna make like fuck tons of money off of them. But like, you know, I'm cancelled.
And if anyone values that, and if you're a Christian who has been saved by my Savior, their Savior, your Savior, Jesus Christ, if you...
Don't you always find it weird, right? Good Friday. Because nailing someone to a cross is a good thing, right?
I mean...
Well, I know what Christians are going to say.
Depends on the person.
Well, yeah, I mean, that might be their sort of kink. But the thing is, right, Christians always say, well, that was what that was supposed to happen. So let me get this straight. God sends his only son to be killed.
Yeah.
My conclusion is God's a bit of a cunt, isn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, Christianity's a death cult. They worship the fact that someone was murdered supposedly for their sins. That's a death cult to me.
Yeah.
You believe in God, you better stop being complacent and you better stop being quiet. We are given this grace, and we're not meant to keep it covered. We're not meant to keep a lid on our light. We're meant to expose it to the world, and we are supposed to be brave.
We're here with Marjorie Taylor Greene. You need no introduction. You're awesome. You're a fighter. You're so...
Right, first thing I'm going to say, so obviously some people might know of Caitlin Bennett. She's famous for turning up to her graduation from Kent State University with an AR-15. And so she's got the nickname Gun Girl. However, I like to call her Poop Girl because supposedly at a party she shat herself. And I remember she denies this, and she went back to Kent State to. Basically she has a career trolling students on university campuses. Okay.
Also, can I say something?
Go on.
Liberty Hangout does not care about free speech.
Well,
they have me blocked on Twitter.
Do you know something, right? I'd love to show this to Aria, right? Because I think Aria would be tearing her fucking hair out at the fact that Caitlin Bennett is basically hijacked. I'll show you the. Actually, let me see if I can find the website. Better explain this. But basically, they've tried to hijack libertarian stuff. Hold on. Trying to find the actual website. What's it? Oh, is that it? Yeah, that's it. You see, the gold and black, that's the colour of anarcho-capitalism.
Yeah.
Right? But Caitlin Bennett is, sucks Trump's cock and is uber racist, uber nationalistic. She's also ableist, and she's an anti-Semite, by the way. Oh, there's a surprise.
How does she suck Trump's cock? It's too small. I'm not sure how that happens with anyone.
You do get the impression that Trump probably does have a micro penis.
Well, I mean, if Trump had a micro penis, it would definitely. Chances are Trump would be a better person.
Well, before I took HRT, right, they were actually, I actually had 3 legs. Yeah. Now I've got a absolute micro penis. You see, HRT does work. Boom, boom. Anyways, I'll never forget. Actually, this is a bit of a digression, but I'll never forget. Right, I was speaking to some trans woman I knew. This is about 20 years ago, and she said she just had surgery, and she said, my clit is now so big. And I went, oh Jesus. She's gone from boasting about the gone from being a bloke boasting about the size of their penis to being a woman boasting about the size of their clit. I don't think girls generally do that, as far as I know.
I mean, look, there's always somebody who does that. Like anything you can think of, chances are there's already someone who does that.
Yeah, but I'd love to get Aria's take on. I would imagine Aria does know who Caitlin Bennett is. I'm sure someone would have mentioned it because they've hijacked the whole libertarian thing when they're not in fact a libertarian. I will say to Aria definitely is a libertarian and the right kind of libertarian in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's more likely to be the case when people actually believe in the values, because some people use things like libertarian as a buzzword to become more popular.
Well, yeah, I remember Glenn Beck tried to say that he was a libertarian a few years ago. No way, he's fucking Glenn Beck a libertarian. Of course, Alex Jones himself, right, has tried that, and libertarians went, yeah, fuck off. No. So, anyways, so that's Caitlin Bennett for you. But as you say, she blocked you on Twitter.
Well, Liberty Hangout specifically blocked me on Twitter. That particular tweet said it was because they made a comment talking about them, and I responded by asking who is this them they're talking about, and I got blocked for asking that question.
Oh, right. So this is a woman who goes on to college campuses asking stupid, asinine, loaded questions as a means of trying to catch students out. And when she's prevented from doing so, screams, First Amendment, I'm a journalist. And yet, when someone asks her a question, she blocks them. Right? What a fucking hypocrite.
Yeah.
So strong. A lot of people like to say you're my mom, so that's okay with me.
I'll take that.
I think any child of Marjorie Taylor Greene should be taken into Child Protective Services for their own good. Just saying.
Very good, solid, conservative, gun-loving, Second Amendment supporting young lady. So
you heard it here. Marjorie is my mom. So, okay. Ever since you won your election back in Georgia, the media has just loved to attack you, and it seems as if because they don't have Trump to go after, you are their new target. How do you handle it so well?
Hold on, no. Right. She keeps coming out with repugnantly asinine bullshit, right? And we're not just talking about Jewish space lasers,
which is a good idea. We need to build space lasers.
It's just about all the homophobic and transphobic shit. She's been ableist, which we'll get onto. She's just an all-round repugnant fucking bigot, right? And she doesn't like the fact that the media will challenge her about this.
Yeah.
Well, the media are doing their job, actually, by challenging it. Anyways.
Well, the way I handle it is I didn't run for the media. I ran for the people. And my saying during my campaign, and I continue to say it, is people over politicians. As a matter
You are a fucking politician. You see, this is what they try to paint, isn't it? But this is what Trump. Have you heard? But I forgot. Didn't it come out that phone conversation he had, or some other tape thing he was covertly taped, where he said he wasn't a politician. You're the president. You were the president of the United States, Trump. That's a political office. Therefore, you are a politician. Marjorie Taylor Greene, despite trying to say otherwise, you are a politician. I know that she's down at heart. I'm sorry. The wholesome, all American, homecoming fucking queen. No,
I mean, she fights for the people who don't like people wearing turbans, the people who don't like it if your skin color is not the same as theirs. Those people Marjorie Taylor Greene fights for.
Matter of fact, that's so important to me. We have that on my wall in my office in Washington, D.C., and I can't wait for Nancy Pelosi to stop running our Capitol like it's some kind of military state, and we get that.
Right. The reason why fucking Washington is on lockdown is for the shit you say, you stupid fucking cunt. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean,
you're one of the QAnon loudmouths. This is why fucking the fucking Capitol is in lockdown today, right?
Yeah.
Fucking hell! What the hypocrisy on display? I did warn that this would get interrupted quite a bit, but
Yeah. No, I know.
Fucking hell.
Border wall taken down. I can't wait for the taxpayers and my constituents to come in and see me in my office so they can see how much they mean to me. But the media, we know exactly who they are. We saw it with President Trump over the past 4 years. Most of the mainstream media is Democrats.
No. It's a fallacy that the media has a liberal bias. It's absolute fallacy.
They support Democrats. They want these progressive policies in place, and
they don't want nutcases like you. That's what they don't want.
They use their powerful platform to push these policies. And so when someone who's conservative like me, and I truly love America, and my policies are America first, just like President Trump.
Right, so let me get this straight. You can't love America unless you're a conservative. But you're not a conservative, you're a fascist. Okay? And I'm sure there are plenty of Democrats who love America just as much. Okay?
Yeah.
You love America, don't you? We'll get back.
Is more of a lover of America. I mean, I love aspects of the culture. It's just one of those things where when it comes to like a nation, it ultimately is a piece of land, and you have like political factions, which I don't like, and I'm not a fan of the militarization.
The
military-industrial complex and such in the.
I'm not denying
I do love the people, and the some of the LGBTQ policies here are wonderful and sweet.
Come on! You must love peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and apple pie.
I'm not a fan of apple pie, but I love peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I'm more of a fan of pumpkin pie.
I can't eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches because I'm allergic to peanuts. But anyways, that's not to do with anything.
I know. Like if you want to go full and not to do with anything, I was listed as having an allergy to peanuts. That I've, despite never having an allergy.
Do you know what the other food allergy I have? Don't laugh.
Okay.
Shellfish.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah, well, when my grandmother, when I found out, because it's an allergy you can develop later in life, right? And it is one I found out later in life. When I told my grandmother, she laughed. She said, you're going to be eating kosher now. No, I still.
To be fair, so my dad was raised. What was the?
Anyways, this has got nothing. This has got nothing to do with anything. Can we get?
Sorry, my dad didn't eat pork before converting to Judaism. Like we've been. Our family has been super kosher regardless of whether they're church.
All right.
And I support him completely, and I can't wait for him to speak tomorrow. They want to tear me down and smear me and create a narrative that they can sell to the public.
You smear your fucking self with all the shit you smear yourself with the shit you come out with. Yeah. You smear yourself with your own shit. That's what you do, Marjorie.
I mean, Marjorie Taylor Greene is the person who posted about Jewish space lasers causing the California wildfire, and obviously secret weather control devices. Like, but yeah.
And how I handle it is that's not who I am. And all of my family and friends are constantly appalled at their attacks, and so are my constituents. And so here's the great news. You don't worry about bullies. You don't let them bully you, and you don't...
Yeah, but you're the one who's a bully. You're the one who wants to treat, have LGBTQ people treated as second-class citizens, have a sit at the back of the bus and not use the same fucking lunch counter as you. Yeah? That's what, yeah? You're the one, you're the one who wants fucking to enact fucking Gilead for fucking real in the United States, you know?
Yeah, well, she's like, they're bullies because they said no.
Well, they told me to fuck off with my bigoted shit. Well, any rightful person would.
You don't worry about their lies, and you keep putting one foot in front of the other and doing the right thing, because it's not about the media in this country, it's about the people.
My story is kind of similar to yours, because right now I get chased out of college campuses. They don't want...
Why is that, Caitlin? It's because you're not welcome. The students don't want you there. Okay? And you know that. You deliberately do it to make yourself look like a fucking victim when you're not.
Want me in these public spaces. They chased you and voted you out of your committee. And I know in your press statements you say, well, now I have more time to focus on the people back in Georgia. Are you still of that mindset? Are you regretting that you aren't on that committee at all? Are you still happy with who you are and where you're going?
Oh, listen, that was a great big gift. Yeah. From the Democrats and 11 of my very weak Republican colleagues. It was 10 that voted for impeachment on Trump. It was 11 that voted to kick me off. And most of those people have been censured in their own districts and states. So I think they're hearing from people exactly the message they need to hear. No, being removed from committees right now was the best thing that could have happened to me, because the Democrats are running Congress. They do not care about the Republicans.
Oh, and when the Republicans run the Congress, do they give a shit about the opinions of the Democrats? Nope.
Yeah.
Fucking hypocrite. Again.
Voices, Republicans' ideas, Republican amendments, Republican policies on these committees. And
you lost the fucking election. Get over it.
So by removing me from committees, I have been freed up of having to listen to their woke, progressive, ridiculous, socialist, Democrat ideas.
Socialist? The Democrat Party are socialists?
Yeah, no. There's like there's like a handful of people in the Democratic Party who could be qualified, like Bernie Sanders.
In Ilhan Omar, AOC.
AOC.
There's a few others, but generally the Democrats are socialist. The fucking hell! Did you hear the fucking conference call they had after the congressional elections, where basically moderate Democrats were trying to throw Justice Democrats under the fucking bus?
Yeah.
Yeah. The fucking Democrat. The thing is, and this really pisses me off, these people don't know what socialism is. They don't know what communism is. You know, every time I hear some person criticize, something against being Marxist, I say, have you actually read Karl Marx? And the answer is always no. You know?
Yeah, I would recommend at least reading some James Connolly, because he puts out some good work.
For hours on Zoom meetings where they actually sit and wear a mask on the Zoom meeting. So I'm freed up to go be back at home, serving my constituents, having town halls, talking with people at home and hearing.
Right. Now this is where the ableist thing comes in. So, there's a video of her calling kids with Down syndrome retards. Okay?
Okay.
And which is really awful, okay? And basically, a parent of one of these, a parent of a Down syndrome child, basically turned up to one of her town hall meetings to challenge her about this, okay? And she wouldn't speak to them.
Well, yeah, I mean, to be fair, it's I mean, I was looking at their bills. She tried to do a bill to terminate the Department of Education. So,
I actually think the Department of Education needs a funding boost to educate fucking, Marjorie Taylor Greene. In fact, I think actually educating Marjorie Taylor Greene would probably exhaust all the resources the Department of Education have. Anyways.
Hearing their ideas, and then I'm also running things on the House floor, which has been a lot of fun, calling to adjourn and trying to give Democrats some more time before they vote for horrible things like the Equality Act.
Oh, you mean filibustering? Is that what you mean? Yeah, I think that's what you mean.
So there's a lot of things.
Oh, the Equality Act's an awful thing, is it? Oh, yeah, giving LGBTQ people equality is really bad. Allowing LGBTQ people, like, I'm trying to think of an LGBTQ person I know. Oh, yeah, Ozma.
What?
Yeah, you're LGBTQ. Didn't you know that?
No. Wait. Being trans, lesbian, gay, asexual, these are part of the LGBTQ? I thought it was labor, bylaws, gun rights, and tariffs. I thought that's what the LGBT was about.
Well, anyways.
Things that I can do, and I'm so excited to have.
But the point is that you just want to get on with your life in peace, don't you? Right, and that's what the that's what the Equality Act would allow a lot of LGBTQ people to do. But Marjorie Taylor Greene thinks this is an awful thing. That tells you a lot. She's a bigot.
Great relationships with many of my Republican colleagues because they go and support my ideas on committees. So I say I'm chairwoman of the Committee of the Whole, and I'm having a great time.
Well, that brings me to my next question. The establishment GOP, they hate you. They hate you. Why are they so threatened by your existence?
Well, the establishment.
Because every time she opens her mouth, they lose the votes of moderate Republicans. That's why.
Yeah.
You can say the swamp, right? So it's the political pundits, it's the Beltway, it's the consultants that deem themselves so much more intelligent and wise, and they know better than the people, right? Well, their problem is they've been living in a little bubble, a political bubble, where they've only been looking at themselves and talking to each other. They are so clueless about what real people think, what real people want, and how real people...
What she means by real people is redneck hicks, okay? That's what she really means.
Well, she doesn't mean... I mean, she doesn't care about them either, so, like...
Well, she cares enough for them... Well, cares enough for them to actually vote for them. Sorry, for them to vote for her, if you know what I mean.
Well, yeah, she's good at
that's a supporter base, isn't it?
Yeah. She's good at lying to them and getting them to vote against their best interest.
Yeah.
Freedom for Families Act. This bill modifies requirement for health savings account. Sorry.
People feel they have to constantly poll to find out what people really think, but they're so disconnected, and these are the ones that are ruining the...
They're so disconnected. Sorry, you're the one who went on about fucking Jewish space lasers. Yeah, you're really grounded, my darling.
She is very disconnected from reality.
You are fucking unhinged.
Republican Party. These are the same people that under the first 2 years under President Trump failed America. They failed our president, and they failed the people that voted for him and voted for Republicans. And that's why Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats won in 2018. And so, what I have to say to those establishment Republicans is you're not representing the people that are voting.
Oh, you mean the Republicans who... Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. You mean the Republicans who aren't fascists? I guess there's one or two of them left now.
No, there's a few. It's one of those things where there's a small amount of people in the Republican Party who want to, at the very least, pretend they care the slightest amount.
Support. And so that's why they're getting censured. That's why everybody hates Adam Kinzinger. That's why everybody's fed up with Liz Cheney, and nobody cares about those type of Republicans. It's old. We're done with them. It's like, let's move on. So it's President Trump's party and America first.
Absolutely. One of the things that you wear on your mask when you do have to wear one is...
I got this one today. This is my impeach Biden.
Well, you wear one that says end abortion.
Yes.
What does ending abortion specifically, ending abortion...
By the way, how's that impeachment of Biden going, Marjorie? Yeah,
no one wants to because it's the most...
Well, no. Don't you remember that on the day Biden took office,
yeah,
she entered, what's it called, papers of impeachment or whatever the fuck it is, the technical it is. You know, how's that going, Marjorie? Yeah, how's that going? Oh, it was...
No one...
Yeah, you got laughed out of fucking Congress for that one, didn't you?
Yeah.
Abortion mean to you? Where do we go with it?
We completely end abortion. It's the worst evil committed in our day. Roe versus Wade happened in 1973. I was born in 1974.
Oh, jeez. That's embarrassing. I'm the same age as Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Wait.
Yeah.
Were you born in January?
I was born in April.
Okay.
So, fun enough, Alex.
She's a few months older.
Well, Alex Jones was also born in the same year, believe it or not. Yeah.
I feel sorry for you, actually.
Yeah, I know. I was born in the same year as Alex Jones and Marjorie Taylor Greene. Oh, gee. Do you know, I actually shared shared the same day of the month as Saddam Hussein.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
So my entire life, your entire life.
Oh, and Oscar Schindler, funny enough.
Yeah, and here I am, being born in the same year as Cristiano Ronaldo, sorry.
Babies are murdered every single day in the womb, and that's a horrific evil. And our government even finds ways for taxpayer dollars to pay for it. That's what they did with the.
All right. Okay. A fetus is not a human fucking being. It has the potential of being a human being, but it isn't. It can't survive outside the fucking womb.
Yeah.
Okay? Technically, and I know this is going to sound absolutely awful, and this is really going to wind anti-abortion itself. Technically, a fetus is actually a parasite.
Well, yeah. I mean, if we're talking about technically and technically, plenty of fertilized eggs do not connect with the wall of the uterus. So there are, if you're starting it at fertilization, then there are a ton of unintentional abortions that nobody has any natural abortions that nobody has any control over.
Yeah, Marjorie, you gotta punish those women, for having natural abortions. I mean, abortion's abortion. You want to get rid of abortion, don't you, Marjorie? Yeah, if you're gonna be fundamentalist to this, we should hold you. And the other thing is, if you're so fucking concerned about abortion, why don't you? I'm sure you're fairly wealthy by now. Why don't you, use the money from all the shit you say? Because I'm sure that that's earned you a few dollars. Why don't you use those few dollars, to adopt children who otherwise would have been aborted at the stage of a fetus.
I mean, she was a chief financial officer for a company, so I'm sure she's plenty rich.
Yeah, exactly. Open up your own fucking yeah. Open up I don't know. Open up some sort of children's home. You know. Yeah, you can brainwash.
I mean, it's not about the survival of the kids, and it's not about the survival of the mothers who can't have children, and it's not about. Well, it's not about life, really. It's about it's about a sanctity of an ideal to. I mean, control women's bodies.
Well, yeah, it is it's definitely that. But this is why I've always said men have should have no say in the abortion argument. I know sometimes it takes two. Well, yes, but sperm banks that they don't know who the father is going to be and whatever else, and I mean, to be honest, we don't need heterosexuality anymore. Artificial insemination and test tubes. Blah de blah de blah. But the point is that anti-abortionists are some of the biggest hypocrites. Because I always talk about the sanctity of life and protecting the children. But the children, yeah. But the thing about it is they don't give a shit. Because if they did, they would adopt children who otherwise would have been aborted because the mother is either incapable or can't afford to bring up that child.
And they stop, oftentimes anti-abortionists stop LGBT people from being able to...
Yeah, that's the other hypocrisy, isn't it? Oh, yeah. Good one, Ozma.
Yeah.
The $1.9 trillion budget last night, one of the amendments I was able to introduce on the Rules Committee, see, they kicked me off, but guess what? I was on the Rules Committee yesterday. I introduced an amendment to stop all federal funding of that bill to go towards abortion. Democrats rejected it, of course, because they reject everybody's, Republicans' amendment. But yeah, no, we need to end it. We need to end it. Over 62 million people have been murdered. They've been canceled. And they want to cancel innocent lives in the womb. They want to cancel gender, male and female. They want to
No! All right. Okay, so okay.
This is the most ridiculous way. It's cancel culture. Abortion is cancel culture. I'm sorry. Transition is cancel culture.
Yeah, but the thing is, they want to cancel gender. Now, the reason why she's saying this is because she considers gender to be linked to biological absolutism. No, gender is a social construct. You fucking hick.
cancel conservative Americans that believe in those very real, fundamental things of life. And so ending abortion means ending it completely. Every life has a chance.
Cancelling American conservatives. Well, every fucking day I wake up to headlines about this American conservative said this and this other American conservative says that. There's no fucking thing as cancel fucking culture. It is bullshit.
So it's not regulating it. It's not hard.
Sorry?
I was going to cancel my dick. I've been trying to for a while.
Yeah, I'd like to do that to mine as well, actually.
Beat bills. It's abolishing it.
Abolish abortion. End it completely. Stop it. It's.
So you're okay with incest and rape? All right. Okay.
Well, I mean, also women who can't bear children dying with their unborn child.
Well, no, the thing is, right, there are Ben Shapiro is one of them, who seems to think that women who are impregnated due to incest, that they should be forced to have their children. For genetic reasons, that is really fucking stupid.
Well, it's bad for so many reasons, and it can create a significant amount of trauma, and the child's life is actually at risk.
But Money, she is from
the parent.
She is from.
There have been people who have killed, who have murdered incest or rape related children before, because the mother couldn't deal with the extreme trauma of just having their kid remind them every day of the person who raped them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she is from the South, where, commonly a guy will walk up to you and says, "I'd like to introduce you to my wife and my sister." And there's one woman standing there. So, I guess she says incest is quite common to her,
Well,
I know that's a stereotype, but the thing is, I mean, she plays up to them.
It's horrible. There aren't words for it.
I'm so glad to hear you say that. Okay, the last question, because I don't want to take up any more of your time. Speaking of labels, and they love to call you a conspiracy theorist, all of the garbage, right? Even though they believe in the Russia collusion. That's a big conspiracy theory, is it not?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. A lot of conservatives are having trouble keeping their jobs. We talked about being canceled and keeping their social media. They're getting banned everywhere.
Right. Caitlin, you've not been banned from Twitter yet, so you've got no right to bitch. But, yeah. This thing, we're getting cancelled from social media. You're getting cancelled from some social media platforms. But, if Marjorie Taylor Greene ain't welcome on Twitter, she can go to Parler, proving that the whole cancel culture thing is bullshit. What conservatives are talking about when they talk about cancel culture is that they seem to think that they should have access to the largest social media platforms. That's what they want. They seem to think they're entitled to the largest platforms. No one is entitled to a platform, period. Okay? Let's get that through your head.
President Trump. There's a lot of people who, like me and you, are feeling scared to speak up. If you have any advice to Christians, conservatives, Trump supporters to speak up, what would you say to them?
I would say that we are possibly living in the last days of having free speech. And if anyone values that...
Right, we've already seen this bit. So, okay. Right.
She divorced from... She and her husband got divorced from her cheating on her husband.
Yeah, I know. She's a hypocrite. But, hey, how many times was Rush Limbaugh married? About 4 times, wasn't it? Glenn Beck's been married 3 times, and he meant to be a Mormon. Anyways, so yeah, we did cover this the other day. Donald Trump mocks trans athletes in his first sinister speech since leaving the White House. But yet again, I'm just going to point out to people, he didn't give a shit for women's sport when he was in the White House.
Yeah.
But now it's become a hot topic for fucking conservatives. He's all over it.
Yeah.
He's fucking, well, as I said, most of these far right, figureheads are fucking grifters, right? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, abusive personalities, yeah.
We're always hearing, the children need to be protected, the children need to be protected. Yeah, not from other trans children, no, but from possibly Trump supporters. Pro-Trump congressman who thinks LGBT plus rights have gone too far, accused of sexual harassment. Wow, jeez. This is not the first time this has happened. Madison called...
He's got, the chattiest face.
Has once again...
like a high school jock. Sorry.
Is he the one who's a wheelchair? Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's the one who's the wheelchair user. And if I remember rightly, he ended up as a wheelchair user due to some bro bet or something or other. I can't remember the details. But in other words, it was sort of his own stupid fault, in a way. Madison Cawthorn has once again been accused of sexual harassment, this time by his former college classmates. The freshman House representative and toading Donald Trump supporter is facing fresh allegations after being previously accused of sexual... so it's not the first time. You know,
Oh God!
after
Sorry.
a while, you kind of think there's got to be smoke. You know.
Yeah, but like Cawthorn is really bad. He's a really, really bad person. Took an Instagram picture of his visit to Adolf Hitler's vacation residence, where he said was on his bucket list for a while. In the post, he called Hitler Führer.
Well, as I said, the GOP are becoming fascist, so why should that be any surprise?
Yeah.
Next to on his book club recommendation will be Mein Kampf. You know.
Yeah, I mean that almost doesn't is likely not needed.
And his film club will start off with Triumph of the Will. You know.
No, it's America. But the movie club will start with
Birth of a Nation.
Yeah.
Several people who knew the North Carolina Republican during his days studying at Patrick Henry College in Purcellville, Virginia, in 2016 alleged that he touched them inappropriately, amongst other claims. BuzzFeed News spoke with Morvan. In other words, he's a dirty old man, isn't he? A lecherous old man. That's basically.
Well, he's not that old.
Yeah, but he acts stuff fucking like it. You go around touching people inappropriately, you know.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's 25, but stuck in the 50s.
Yeah, you half expect him. Yeah, but by the sounds of it, you half expected to wear a dirty Mac. Yeah, multiple women have come forward with allegations of aggressive and unwanted sexual behavior. Yeah, it doesn't fucking surprise me. Yeah, as I said, after a while you say, where there's smoke, there must be fire. So, yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah. Although he has disavowed QAnon, the Big Tent conspiracy movement, Cawthorn, nevertheless, has amplified debunked conspiracies and tall tales and fraternized with fellow far right firebrands. Yeah, the fraternizing with far right firebrands is because that is the base support of the Republican Party now.
Yeah, there's significantly too many words. Not neo-fascist. Wow, I can't think of words. I can't even remember the fucking Hitler's. Neo-Nazis. God damn! How did I forget the word Nazi? Okay. Apparently, my brain shut off seeing Madison Cawthorn's face.
Meanwhile, why doesn't this fucking surprise me? A coalition of hate groups are coming together to try and stop the Equality Act. Well, okay.
Yeah.
First of all, let me just explain something. They needn't worry because the Democrats don't have the votes in the Senate. Okay. Sadly. But that won't stop them trying to persecute trans people, will it? A group of anti-LGBTQ organisations have created the Promise to Americans' Children's, because America's children. Yeah, because it's always about the children, isn't it? What about the children? What about the children? I'll tell you.
By the way, your children can't be that way. They need to be specifically this normative way, and if they're not, then there's something wrong, and you failed as a parent if your child happens to be queer or whatever. Like, they do not care about the children.
Yeah, again, as it is with the abortion debate, the new organisation asks people to join the Promise movement so that they can pledge to protect our children, both personally and in the public square, from pro-LGBT discrimination protection. Hold on, that doesn't... Right. So to protect them from Right. So basically, what you want is your kids to be able to grow up and use be free to use the F smear. Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what you basically want. Yeah. So yeah.
Well, not just that. You want the right of dedicated parents to kick out their child and disown them if they find out that their child happens to be in any way, shape, or form queer.
Yeah, they claim that passing the Equality Act would pave the way for sexualized curriculum across the nation in the form of...
You mean like sex education?
Well, I was about to say, yeah. And human biology this afternoon will be taken by Mistress Whiplash. Yeah, right. Okay. Fuck off.
Wait, J.K. Rowling is doing something?
In the form of government-sponsored initiatives at the federal... Fuck off. It's bullshit.
It's literally just an act to prohibit discrimination.
Right. Now, this has a very revealing paragraph in it. So basically, here's the real reason Conservatives have been opposing the Equality Act. They don't say it, but it is. The truth was not an obstacle to the legislation's opponents. The Equality Act would discriminate against people of faith, a group of Catholic bishops warned. Right. Let me decode that for you. What that means, right, is that essentially religious people wouldn't be able to use the word of their sky daddy as a front to being homophobic and transphobic bigots.
Yeah.
Yeah? And personally...
I mean...
Go on.
Yeah, sorry, go on.
Well, I was going to say, I think it's ridiculous that we take anybody seriously, right, whose basis of bigotry is the word of some crusty old book, which they reckon is the word of a mystical, non-existing sky daddy.
Well, I mean, that is a factor. I was just going to mention the fact that there is so many aspects of the Bible that is about equality and inclusiveness, that they don't care about the faith. They care about
all fundamentalist Christians
preserve the conservative movements. They care about that more than they care about the Bible.
No, what it is that people don't like people who are different, right? And
well, yeah,
and basically they will find any crumb of bullshit to essentially use against the insecurity of people being different from them.
Yeah, and I'm just saying there's so much blasphemous stuff when it comes to the Conservative Party that they should feel ashamed that people are using, out of context quotes from the Bible to manipulate them.
Yeah. So, I mean, for instance, I know, if I remember rightly, there's a line from, I forgot which book it is in the Bible, but you shouldn't wear mixed fabrics. That's a sin.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, you have like a parable in the New Testament about. I mean, the whole.
Oh, come on! Look! Fucking fundamentalist Christians don't get past the Book of Leviticus. For fuck's sake! Even fucking us Jews get past that one.
Yeah,
well, I mean we might not get onto
the whole Good Samaritan parable is about being kind to people who are different.
Well,
That's
yeah.
the entire point of the parable.
Well, yeah. And I mean, Ben Shapiro should know that because he's a Jew for Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a Jew for money.
Oi, no, that's... You're going to get me into trouble for saying that.
I did not think about that. I did not think... I'm sorry. I take back all my statements. I was trying to make a Jews for Jesus joke. Yes. That I wasn't thinking about the anti-Semitic subtext that could be used for. I completely retract that statement and apologize. I'm sorry. I did not mean that. That was an accident in terms of terminology, and I will publicly denounce myself for making that statement.
Well, so
I'm canceling myself. I'm sorry.
So apparently, you and I wanting to use a public bathroom to take a shit or piss is radical gender ideology. Yeah, Republican introduces anti-trans bathroom bill in Congress to stop radical gender ideology. Is it possible for me to just be able to go into a bathroom and take a dump in peace? Is it? Without fearing that, I'm going to get lynched. Is that possible? No, I don't live in the United States, sure, right? But the thing is, this is part of essentially a global fucking, prejudice against trans women, particularly.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, they basically they still follow some of the very toxic masculinity principles in which men are the people who can take action and women are the people who are affected by things. So they try to suggest that trans women aren't women, and then we get the worst of any sort of argument. Whatever, trans women are either treated like women or treated like men, whichever way they can say that we shouldn't exist. And then trans men are confused and must be abused somehow because trans men are secretly women, so there's no way they could possibly have any agency of their own to take hormones. So, but yeah, they wouldn't want trans men to be in women's bathrooms or trans women to be in women's bathroom. They don't want trans people to be able to be in public spaces to try to make it so that we don't exist.
Now, all right, this bill has no fucking hope whatsoever with the Democrats in control of Congress.
Yeah.
However, the danger is there's midterms next year. There's likely to be a swing possibly back to the Republicans. I mean, I'm hoping not. I'm hoping that Marjorie Taylor Greene actually keeps mouthing off and actually puts off moderate Republicans voting Republican.
Well, I mean
but generally, when there's a Democrat president, there is a swing at the midterms against the Democrats. So the danger is
it depends on what exactly Biden does that helps if Biden actually does things that help people.
Yeah, I think. I mean, obviously, I was too young for. I mean, I do remember Jimmy Carter, but I was a very small kid. I do remember the day he left office. I do remember that. I was 6 at the time, but I remember obviously what happened with Clinton and the Republicans taking back control of Congress in 1994. Obviously, under Barack Obama, yet again, Republicans took back control of both houses. Let's hope that Biden tries to do something different. As you say, I think you get the feeling
that there's been good stuff and there's been bad stuff.
Well, the bombing of Syria probably wasn't good, but let's not get onto that now. But the point I'm trying to make is, if he gets his domestic policy right, then there's a chance, okay? And he seems to be getting his domestic policy right at the moment. So, you know, let's.
I mean, minus the fact that he needs to hammer down.
Oh yeah, he's kept the
because he you know, under his administration obviously added a new camp for children in cages. So like,
yeah,
there's some things that he is still awful about, and if he continues to come off like he isn't going to push for, you know, things that affect people's lives, then yeah, things will switch back. I mean, and it's a big problem with the two-party system in general. It's neither side makes any positive change.
Right.
Sorry, the Democratic Party occasionally does social change, which is good, but like when it comes to economic stuff, which affects everybody, if you're LGBTQ or not, like it's not really helpful if you can legally transition but are still starving to death.
Right, that's a good point. I mean, look, as far as I'm concerned, social justice has to come with economic justice, and
Yeah.
I've always been a little wary whether Biden would deliver economic justice.
Yeah, and if he doesn't, because he's been.
Well, he's good. Look, he's gonna have to, because the state of the American economy, right? That just, you know, he's going to have to. He's going to be forced into having to do so. You know. But anyways, so I reported on this a few weeks ago that a Liberal Democrat had resigned from the parliamentary's diversity campaign because essentially they were giving a platform to transphobes.
Yeah.
And well,
That's right.
you know, talking of transphobes getting a platform from Parliament.
Oh gosh.
Oh no, hold on, wrong story. Sorry.
Oh
no, hold on. I've completely fucked things up.
I saw the story. I saw Graham Linehan.
Yeah, sorry. I know where it is.
Yeah.
There it is. Yes, Parliament want to hear from Graham Nyman. Yes, they're going to give him a platform.
What?
Graham Nyman has been
Parliament is filled with transphobes.
Graham Nyman has been invited to give evidence in Parliament on freedom of expression online after being permanently banned from Twitter. Yeah, well, he's free to, I don't know, log on to Parler if he wants. I'm sure that they'll welcome him.
And I mean, there's terms of service for the business. So if you violate terms of service, then, you know, you've essentially, it's like going into someone's home and knocking over their shit and getting banned from it and then getting upset that you got banned from that person's home.
I mean, why? I can't say I'm that fucking surprised, considering what, you know, that, as I said, that previous story, that there was various committees prepared to give transphobes a platform before. So hey, why not? You know, get one of the loudest in. You know.
Well, I mean, they have to follow the BBC and see if they can one up the BBC.
Well, just
transphobia.
to remind people, the last time Lyman was in the news was because he as a cisgendered man posed as a lesbian woman to gain entry to a women's only space, which is the exact accusation he and his turf chums level at us trans women.
Yeah, well,
he's an utter fucking hypocrite. Now, okay, I am just hoping, fingers crossed, that whatever fucking committee it is he's due to appear in front of, there are MPs on that committee who will cross-examine him and challenge his transphobia. But I have to say, I don't hold out much hope. Yeah?
Yeah.
Because the whole transphobic problem, right, is cross-party. It's not just the Tories. It's not just Labour. It is both.
Yeah, and two things I want to. One is obviously a lot of far right groups do a lot of things where they create a separate account so that they can pretend to be a trans woman specifically for doing that. So it's pretty par for course for a transphobic person to try to create someone in the image of their stereotypical hatred because they can't find actual trans women who are like how they say trans women are. But also, I don't believe that Graham Linehan is 29.
No. All right.
That was the age listed on the dating site that he went on.
Right, folks. Well, that brings an end to another edition of both the rants. Sorry it's so long, but there was so many news stories we needed to get through, which we weren't able to get through on Tuesday because I was feeling under the weather.
But it was a lot of fun.
Yes. Now, I will be back tomorrow at 6 p.m. Plenty more to cover. Believe me, there's still a shit ton of stories I need to catch up with. It's been a busy week. In the meantime, thank you for joining us, Aria. Bloody hell.
See, look, I'm not gonna deny that Aria did inspire me to consider running for sheriff in Minnesota, in a city in Minnesota. But yeah, yeah, no, I'm not Aria, obviously. It happened.
I apologize for that one. Anyways,
look, it's my charming personality, and Aria has a charming personality too, so it's easy to make the association.
Thank you for joining us, Ozma. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, and thanks for having me on. It's always I wouldn't be on your show a bunch if I didn't enjoy it to some degree. Otherwise I would probably just be giving you excuses and be like, look, I'm really busy that day and I mean, not to say that I'm not busy on certain days or whatever, and it's not like I like you, Sophia.
Thank you. Okay, well, as I say, in the meantime, if you like this video, give it a like. Give us feedback by giving us a comment down below. If you've got any feedback, that is, of course. Please share it, this video. That would be very much appreciated. Still haven't seen anyone do that yet. And, tell half a lie. Ozma does share the link, the streaming link.
On Twitter, and also I only have so many spoons. I'm I'm honestly bad at promoting my own stuff.
Yeah.
I don't promote the Food Voice enough. Yeah.
Anyways, but most important of all, please do subscribe to this channel. That would be really uber helpful.
Yeah.
Also, don't forget you can follow me on Twitter. Links below. Anyways, until tomorrow, please stay safe and peace out.
Peace.